What up?
I need that sports encyclopedia. Where you at, Steve Kim? Got Trent in the cut. Yeah.
Where you at, man? In the gym shooting, I'm Durant. You ain't shooting John Moran.
Darnell is the Ball State legend. I'm the Warren Central High School legend.
I'm proving with a reliable source, straight from the mouth of the horse. Smitty and JB and Smitty from West Coast to Yost.
I love talking ball. It's nice to connect with guys that are like-minded and just are real and genuine.
Better stay in your lane. How did
you are fucking insane. Dude, what? You just will not give this guy his flowers. What is wrong with you?
Oh, you must have thought I was a bitch.
I am him. You's not it. What's the topic? With your logic when I flow. Big Komodo, how it's talking.
Gotta get back to letting the baby cry a little bit to see if they can soothe themselves.
That's a bar.
Issues get pressed so fast it don't get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown killed it, yeah, it's a rap. We what the game's been missing, we switched it and filled the gap.
I identified him after his third fight, and I said that guy can be a star.
I'm so proud of the show, bro.
The gap, Smitty and Jason Brown.
To the Coach JB show.
What up? We are in the building. It is Slap Dick Nation time. It is Free Game Friday, and we got a loaded lineup today. 4 guests, all real ones. Right out the gate, Doc Talk Tuesday and Friday with Dr. Jesse Moore. She's going to break down all things NFL injuries, plus some college football updates, plus any NFL injuries, especially Russell Wilson. We call Russell Weirdo. Apparently could be out for game 1. We're going to dive into that for the Steeler Nation fans. So don't miss Doc Talk Friday with Dr. Jesse Morris right out the gate. We got Big Matt McChesney joining us. We're going to talk Colorado, Nebraska. Don't miss that one. Plus, we got former NFL quarterback and Super Bowl champ Shaun King joining us. And then we're going to wrap it with the best capper in the business, Jeff Nadu, all things betting, college, and tonight's game in Brazil between Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love. So don't miss this one. It is loaded. We're going to be loaded all day long. I might get loaded. Fifth and a yak, and who knows? Sip some yak, smoke a stick. You know I'm smoking a stick, but we're going to get this thing going. It's Free Game Friday. Let's start this bitch. The NFL is back, and boy, did it disappoint. This is the easiest era to play quarterback in NFL history. And year to year, it's getting worse on offense. Make it make sense. The kickoff rules are absolutely horrific, hard to watch. The refs threw every single possible penalty flag known to man to start the season. Well, at least on the Ravens. And we saw flash. And you casuals think it's good. You see a spin move and think it's greatness. I see a spin move and I see Lamar Jackson screaming out to tell everybody he just can't do what this position requires to win a Super Bowl. But what do I know? It's only game 1, JB. No, it's year 7, Lamar Jackson. And, brother, let me be the one to tell you. It's not your OC. It's not your wide receivers. Never has been, never will be. Anyone who watched you last night and don't think you absolutely stole the MVP last year are delusional. Anyone who watched last night and still thinks you can win a Super Bowl are delusional. If you don't run around and do what you do athletically, you look like one of the worst quarterbacks to ever do it, to ever play the position as a legitimate starter in the NFL. It was hard to watch, and stop blaming your offensive coordinator, your head coach, and your wide receivers. Because Hollywood Brown knew and got out. Sammy Watkins knew, got out. Willie Snead knew, got out. Deshaun Jackson knew, got out. DeMarcus Robinson knew, got out. Michael Crabtree knew and got out. And you know who found out last night? Mark Andrews and Nelson Aguilar. They know now. The game looked like I said it would. Derrick Henry looked like a fish out of water. They can't blend Lamar Jackson with Derrick Henry, but what the fuck do I know? Maybe, just maybe, you will take my word as gospel and not hate. And recognize you casuals just don't know shit about this game and should just leave this to me. That was a bad football last night, and stop making excuses as it's game one. Stop making excuses for this man, Lamar Jackson. It's a joke. Great kid, great freakish nature, athletic, gifted guy, but an elite quarterback in the NFL, he'll never be. Let's start this bitch off. Ravens lose a close one to the Chiefs as Derrick Henry is held to 46 yards rushing. Packers take on the Eagles tonight in Brazil, and USC has retired number 13 in honor of Caleb Williams. Woo! I can't wait to dive into this one because Matt McChesney joins to break down Colorado versus Nebraska. Shaun Moore is coaching without an officially signed contract, says Michigan AD Ward Manuel. But before we begin, my co-host extraordinaire, Naptown legend, 317 Far East Sider, LeBron hairline having Lamar Jackson loving, AR5 defendant, and Caitlin Clark jocking, Fox Sports' very own Big Smitty joining us. Let's do it.
We back. Football is back. Listen, JB, I know we're about to argue probably because I know how we are, but at the end of the day, JB, ain't we just happy to see football? Football is here. Football is back. I know we might disagree on the how good the game was. I enjoyed watching the game. Outside of the referees and the penalty calls, they kept calling on the Ravens and Ronnie Stanley for illegal formation. That part was annoying. Stay out the game, referees. When we can recognize you, that means you're doing too much. Sit back, relax. I thought last night was an overcorrection of what they were missing last season. But other than that, I thought the game was a good first game of the season. There were mistakes, of course. There were, some issues on just formations, issues on alignment. That's going to happen with first games of the season. But overall, it was good football. And I got to shout out TJ Riddle for 49.99. Shout out to Baby for coming on my podcast called the Pigskin Mafia Podcast. And you guys put on the greatest content of all time. Hook 'em. What's going on, JB? How you feeling?
What up? Lots to dive into today. We got a loaded lineup. 4 guests right out the gate, back to back. We got a lot going on today, man. So it's going to be a very interesting, good topic of discussion. Our first hour will be you and I. First 40 minutes before Dr. Jesse Morse joins us to give us an update on Russell Wilson. I'm hearing he's a little bit banged up. Still may have a hammy or some sort of injury. May not be able to play Sunday. That's going to be interesting to watch as the Justin Fields era may take over sooner than later. Of course, we're going to debate all last night's game, the whole game, plus tonight's game in Brazil. Jalen Hurts, Jordan Love, who y'all got? We're going to dive into that. We're on TikTok. We're on everywhere, and we're already getting out there. So pound that like, subscribe, become a member. Smitty, this show is brought to you by Bet Online as well, and winnable.com/picks. Head on over there. Now, let me remind you guys real quick. This Sunday morning, Shaun Salisbury, myself, and Jeff Nadu have the best pregame NFL show on Planet ERF, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern. We will be having our NFL pregame show as well as good as anybody can do it. So hopefully Bailey can run it and be behind the scenes as well, hop in with us. But we're going to have that show on Sundays. So we're going to try to do it every single week, every single Sunday. So if you guys want that real NFL breakdown every single Sunday, join us this week as we start game week 1. Smitty, let's get right into the quote of the day. Contrary to belief and the poll question and all things real.
This is like my top 3 segment of this show. So I'm looking forward to it. This always sets the tone for the entirety of the show. This show goes or falls based upon the energy and time that you put forth into this quote right here. Let's see what you got.
I'm going to come off the top of the head because I didn't get up and do it because I was busy. AE over.
That's a shame.
Quote of the day brought to you by betonline.ag. Smitty, your word is the only thing that you can take with you when you die.
That's deep. Like that's type of quote you don't get hype over. It make you sit and just think like, damn.
That's what I wanted you to do.
This dude, he owning something right now. Like he telling the truth. He a truth teller right now. That's how I feel.
Your word is the only thing that you can take with you when you die.
Word is mine. Word is mine.
Only thing.
Damn. Not your nut.
You can't take a U-Haul with you. Can't take your shit with you. Can't take your girl with you. Can't take your kid with you. You can't take no money. You can't take your bank account.
You don't take your balls with you? Your word and your balls?
It's gone. Everything takes out. It's gone. Your shit drop.
Word is bond. That's deep. That's powerful. That's powerful, JB. Hell of a start. Hell of a start right now. I like that. What you got for contrary to belief?
Contrary to belief brought to you by Prize Picks. I love how Smitty judges all my shit, even though we're on the same show, but he could actually shit on anytime he could shit on it. Guys, we're real show on Planet ERF, though. You guys don't want to. This is barbershop banter. This is what we do. Thanks for everybody on X watching us, everybody out there on TikTok, etc. But you guys really still, all the love in the world. You guys don't know what the fuck you're doing. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. I'm just going to give you the truth. You guys do not know football. Stop acting as if you do. Stop DMing me. Stop tweeting at me. Stop sending me messages on Instagram. You do not understand it. Listen, contrary to belief, expectations either inflate your spirit or deflate your spirit.
That's a bar. What type of brother are you? What type of man are you? Do you fold under pressure or do you rise under pressure? What you gonna do?
Expectations, Smitty. See, you had expectations last night of Lamar Jackson that I did not have. And it either inflates your spirit or deflates your spirit. Like expectations I got expectations, Smitty. And man, I woke up today and my expectations for today was, go out and make me $5,000 today. And I didn't make it. I spent $100. I'm in the whole 5,100 and now I'm deflated. Instead of inflated, because you got to understand, dog, you got to oversell, underdeliver, or you either undersell and overdeliver. Which one are you? I don't know. But Lamar definitely deflated your spirit last night. No. Poll question. Let's dive into this one because this will start the show off and then we'll get into this whole thing. And everybody in the chat, please chime in. This one you guys can chime in. You can give me your thought on this. Smitty, can the Chiefs really three-peat? After watching last night's performance. They're as good as they're missing Snead at corner. I'm gonna tell you right now what they're missing. They're missing Snead at corner. And they have
dude played decent though. I don't know his name, but he played decent.
They have a real issue on the defensive line, and I'm gonna explain it and dive into it later. I can't wait. I can't wait. Weddle is super excited this year to get on the board with us because Weddle also has some concerns, and we both share the same sentiments that a lot of you guys will have no fucking idea what I'm even talking about. Smitty and I will break it down. Smitty will know what I'm talking about. He played the position. I can't wait to dive in and break that down for you guys. But I think they got a couple major issues up front on D-line. And everyone's going to say, damn, their D-line dominated. Just wait till I say it. Yep. And I think they have a corner safety issue. And I think they lack the ability to run the football in between the tackles other than just some sort of gimmicky run scheme. They're going to have to run the football late in the game, late in the year. Pacheco's a dude. I like him. I've been on him for 2 years now. I've been the one guy saying this guy's underrated, but I don't know if he's a guy that you can give the ball to 30 times a game. So that's all I'm saying. But go ahead, Smitty. Can they three-peat?
Since the key word is can, I'm going to say yes. I think they have what's needed in order to three-peat. They still got the main pieces. Still got Patrick Mahomes, best quarterback in the world. You still got Andy Reid, best coach in the world right now. You still got, even though he wasn't as dominant this game. You still got Travis Kelce, though. This guy who you can always count on to make at least one or two big-time catches in the game. And then they got better at the wide receiver position. We saw Xavier Worthy, a guy who I know we talked about on the show months ago for the TikTok video that you didn't like of him throwing the money at his girl or whatever. And I get that. But at the end of the day, he came out here as a rookie, his first NFL game, and did what he was supposed to do. The skill set he has is speed. He's the fastest guy in combine history. He came out there and he showcased that. And Andy Reid shot to him for, again, finding a way to maximize every single weapon that he has and putting them in the best position for them to succeed. And that's what he did. So they got more weapons. Rashee Rice looked good. Say we want to say off the field, I get it. On the field, the guy looks good. He looks like he's going to be Patrick Mahomes' number one wide receiver. Hollywood Brown wasn't even out there. So I just think that overall, yeah, every team's going to have weaknesses. There's no perfect team. There's never been a perfect team. But they have all the pieces necessary to three-peat. Keyword, can. Now, you ask me will, I'm saying no. But can, yes. What do you think, JB?
I mean, they're a seasoned veteran group led by the best coach in football. So can they? Yeah. Especially in this Chiefs Queendom era where everything's catered to them. I don't know when they had a first penalty call. Their right tackle's in the backfield the whole game, just like last year ended. It started this year. I mean, that's illegal.
That's crazy.
Listen. I broke this down last year. I want to break it down again. Do you see the receiver up top? I think it's Travis Kelce. Remember, there is a hat to hip rule. I want to be clear so you guys understand what's going on.
Okay.
There's a hat to hip rule. Now, how many guys are on the football?
7, right?
Yeah, just count, though, right here.
I mean, right now.
So you got Travis Kelce. Let's say he's on.
Yep. So that's 6.
The receiver over here on the left is on.
7.
And who else are you counting on?
That's it.
You're counting the fifth lineman then, you're telling me.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
So legitimately, it's legal.
Yeah.
It's not an illegal formation. I just want to throw out there to all you naysayers that think you know football. It's not illegal. Because I just want to be clear. It is a hat to hip rule. Do you understand what that means? My helmet, my hat on the hip of my guard is legal for my tackle to be in. So my hat and his hat is on his hip, is it not?
It is.
So even though he's in a kick step stance, and we can talk with Matt about it, that's not illegal because he's the 7th guy. Now, if somebody else is on over here on the left, let's just say that slot receiver were to be on.
Yep.
It's an illegal formation. It's not illegal right now. And I get it. All you Chiefs, and you know me, dog. I'm going to call it what it is. It's not illegal. What is illegal that can be argued for most of the game is the actual false start. Is he jumping or not? And I'm going to combat that too and be devil's advocate here. I watched it. I slowed it down. I don't think he's false starting either. I know it's coming crazy from the Chiefs Queen of Lover, but I'm going to be honest, Smitty. Remember, you casuals watch the game and tell and see when Patrick Mahomes gets the ball in his hand. The ball snapped.
Right.
Is when he can move.
Soon as it flinches.
Soon as the center moves the ball, the tackle can move. Patrick Mahomes gets the ball a half second later, and everybody on TV thinks he's false starting. No. The ball snapped, the tackle kicks. It's legal. It's just like if I was under center. You wouldn't notice. Nobody would be talking today if Patrick Mahomes was under center and took the ball and you see the tackle move. You're seeing the ball snap from the gun. The tackle can move when the ball snaps. He gets a tap. The guard gets a tap. Just so you know, the guard's tap telling the center he can snap the football. Tackle knows his eyes are inside. I see my 5 technique. Okay, I know who my immediate rush threat is. I look inside, the ball snapped, I kick.
Yeah.
So I just want to be clear. Everybody out there talking about the rules and all that shit, this is not illegal. And could he move up and be argued by coaches? Yeah. I would argue it because that's what I'm supposed to do for my players. I would say his right foot's way too far back. His hat ain't on his hip. But remember, he's 6'8", 330. His hat is on his hip, dog. Like, look down that line. Look at that white line where the right guard's hip is. Look at his helmet.
That's literally on his hip. He's literally on his hip.
It's actually above the line.
Yeah. So my question for you is then, and I don't know if we probably don't have a picture, and this is I didn't ask, but then why was Ronnie Stanley tackle for the Ravens? Why did he continue to get calls on him every single play? Because it was times where they stopped and kind of froze on his alignment. And I'm like, listen, I'm not a calls expert, but I played D-line. I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, he does not look like he's missed a line. But again, maybe I'm looking at it from a different lens.
Do we have any of that? Bailey, do we have any of those false starts or Ravens?
1 minute, one minute, but he'll get it on there. But now, I guess for me, that was my biggest dilemma. Like, sure, I don't mind you not calling this, but just keep it consistent is what I'm saying. And I just didn't feel like it was good. Even Harbaugh was confused. He's on the sideline like, what's going on? Like, what do you want him to do?
Well, let me ask you,
he kept saying Stanley just scoot up. He just scoot up.
But let me ask you, is it false start or is it illegal formation?
They were calling illegal formation on Ronnie Stanley.
Yeah, because we got to make sure we're straight. All these guys out here that don't understand the difference, there's a huge difference. One's an illegal formation, meaning there's not 7 on or more than 5 on. There's more. It's an illegal formation. Or is it a false start? There's 2 different things going on.
They call on Ronnie Stanley specifically. It was all illegal formation. I think they might have called it like 4 times because I mean, they literally just kept calling it. On that was the first or second drive. They literally just back to back was called. I'm like, damn, like what is he doing wrong? Like, did he not know how to play the position? What I'm saying, but maybe he was. So break this down for me.
Okay, what are they saying now?
Illegal formation. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. And I know Bailey played O-line. Maybe he has a little bit of insight. Like I don't see nothing wrong with this. And now we're comparing
go back. Something's not right here. So who's the right?
Right here, close to the screen. That's Ronnie Stanley. They called it on him specifically like 4 times for this alignment.
Can't be. It has to be a formation. It has to be a formation. Is that a right? Is that a right tackle over there, or is that an unbalanced formation? And I want to be clear here. So
it's a tackle.
People in the chat are acting as if the hat needs to be on the center's hip, and they said it last night. And first of all, Chris Collinsworth don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I'm just going to throw it out there. Number 1. Number 2, no, he doesn't have to have his hat on the center's hip. Number 2, it's supposed to look like a half oval. And that is what the rule is. That's what it's been forever. That means the center's like this, Smitty, and it's a half dome with everybody else, correct? You understand what I'm saying? So there's the tackle, the guard, the center, the guard, the tackle. It looks like a half dome.
Yep.
So tell me, Mr. Genius, if the hat's supposed to be on the center's hip, do you fucking understand what that would do and what they would look like up front? So everybody's in a straight line is what you're fucking telling me, you fucking idiot. No, they don't have to have. The hat needs to be on the hip of the adjacent player. The adjacent player.
Next to him.
So Game Dog, shut the fuck up. All right, so let's get everybody on the line of scrimmage, Smitty, and put everybody's hat to the center's hip. Fucking idiots, man. God damn. Some of you
but for me, like watching that, I just think that was an overcorrection of a missed call from last season. Referees probably.
I wish I could see the bigger formational thing. So, like, see, that's not a false start, dog. Like, look, you can move your leg, Smitty. You can move your leg. You can move your leg in the stance. Sorry, you can. As long as you don't move your foot. You can move your leg and rock it. Smitty.
I hear you. I don't know. That's questionable.
Smitty,
that's questionable. That's questionable.
You can rock at the line of scrimmage all you want.
But once you're set, you set. Like when you're lining up, I get it. You're lining up. You're trying to get in your stand.
As long as you don't lift. As long as you don't lift.
Once you stop and you set. You can't be fucking like jerking and shit. As a D lineman, I'm going right now. I'm going as a D lineman. Soon you move, I move just like that. Soon as you flinch, I'm fucking going. They gonna call all sides on me.
Yeah, listen. I'm just telling you right now.
Oh no.
You know me. I'm a Chiefs Queen.
You love the piece right now. I don't like this.
I'm just telling you though, you can rock your body, Smitty. You cannot move your foot. Once you lift your leg off the ground, it's false start. but you can rock your body, dog. Lineman Smitty move
They
all
look
the
up.
time.
They look up and they point.
Smitty, they move all the time. What do you mean? They're sitting here. All right, boom, boom, boom. I can rock all I want. As soon as I lift that foot, Smitty, as soon as I lift that foot is what triggers you and what allows you to get a free run at the cue. So that's what that means. It's not, but look at that. So Bailey, show that again. Look at when the ball snapped, as I eloquently stated earlier, versus he ain't moving. He's not.
JB, like I hear it. Like I hear what
I'm telling you, though. Hey, I know you and Baby are like fuck, but I'm telling you, he's
I
not.
hear what you saying.
He ain't false though.
But like, listen, Buddy ain't like looking around. Like, no, he's getting a head start on the fucking on the snap. Like, look.
But his foot ain't moving, dog. I hear you, but if his foot moved, I'd be calling. I'd be calling it. I'm just keeping it real.
Bailey, real quick, pop in real quick, Bailey, real quick. You are our offensive lineman on the show. Is this false start or not? Keep it real.
I want to get Matt's take on this because I feel like I've been called for something like this, where even if you lean or jolt or do any shit, especially right before they snap it, they'll throw a flag. So I was kind of surprised that they didn't that lean right there. I feel like, I've been called for some shit like that over the years, so I don't know, but we'll see what Matt says.
I just
appreciate you, baby.
I don't
know. It's tough, JB.
It's a gray area deal.
Yeah,
and he's not moving his foot. I'm just going by the letter of the law.
Yeah, I feel you.
Now, if you're coaching it, or all it is splitting hairs. And I'll be honest, the Chiefs have a great O-line coach, and that's fucking taught. I'm just telling you, that's taught. So, listen, there's a lot of guys in the league that does that. A lot of guys, if you go around the league and go watch those guys in the league, that's what they do. And just because you played in the league don't mean you fucking know everything, all you gurus out here. Chris Collinsworth played in the league, and he was a hell of a wide receiver. Doesn't mean he knows how to coach like Dan Orlovsky. It doesn't mean he knows how to call a fucking game. So just remember, just because you played doesn't mean shit. And just because you didn't play don't mean shit in Mina Kimes, according to you.
We got the answer, though. We got the answer right here. It's official. So here we go.
What?
Eddie Manyweather. He said you can't move, so we got it.
Fuck.
We got it, JB. We
All
can
right.
move on now. We good. We can move on.
All right. So, Smitty, let's dive into this thing, man, because I got to be honest. My biggest takeaways from this Chiefs game and this Ravens game just keep it real. Can we rewind? Oh, we said we were going to clip what you said, and it's all right. We don't have to show it.
We got 12 minutes. We got 12 minutes for Doc, so you better give me your best shit right now. Go ahead. I'm mute.
I just want to ask you what I said yesterday with the whole Derrick Henry mesh with Lamar Jackson. I actually did a very eloquently nice put video last night on Twitter and TikTok. I broke the play down right at the screen last night. If you didn't see it, Smitty, we could probably pull it in later. But I broke it down. I told you on this show yesterday, and I broke it down on the board last night during the game, that the blend of Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson was going to be an impossible feat, in my opinion, and it proved to be right. Now, I like Coach Monken. I really do. Spags out chest matched him last night, but let me give you a little bit of insight. Without Lamar Jackson's runs that were ad lib, that offense was fucking horrific. It was hard to watch. There was no rhyme or reason to it. There was no, I'm going to run the football to do this. I'm going to throw the football to do this. He didn't set up no boot naked at all. If you didn't watch, he didn't run any nakeds at all, especially under center. They ran one play pass under center on first down. He hit likely for about a 25-yard pass. The next play, they went under center and handed the ball off. Very, very, very predictable. They should have boot naked on the second play on first down again. That's what I would have called. And it was very, very hard to watch. And I don't think we got to stop blaming the coach. Lamar Jackson had one of the best offensive-minded guys ever to call offense in Greg Roman, who's now with Harbaugh in LA with the Chargers. You're going to see again, how an offense really supposed to look. And what he did with Lamar Jackson was unbelievable shit to watch. Because I watched more Lamar Jackson film than any human on earth when Greg Roman was the OC. He did everything feasible to put Lamar Jackson in the position to succeed, and they still couldn't win a Super Bowl. And now we blamed him, got him out. Blame the receivers. He don't have enough guys. Got him out. Bring in new guys. When are you going to blame Lamar Jackson? Because without his ad-lib feet runs and ad-lib plays last night, be honest, it was dink, dunk, screen, bubble, hitch. He threw one good dig ball to Zay Flowers. I broke that down, gave him credit. But I shouldn't be just talking about one pass by an NFL quarterback in the NFL. It's just not. Come on, man. We got to call it what it is. I love Lamar Jackson. Great fucking athlete. Great freak of nature. Great kid. But he's not a guy that can win. And he lost 12 pounds is the most positive remarks I heard on Twitter all night. He lost 12 pounds, though. By the way, he lost 12 pounds, Smitty, and they got him hit more than he's ever been hit. Like, make it make sense, Coach Monken. I'm not going to question you. You're an NFL OC. I love you to death. You've been around a long time. I've known you a long time. Great play caller. But $200-something million you just paid Lamar Jackson the last time I checked. Why they were banging him so much last night blows my mind, number one. Number two, why did you get Derrick Henry then? To my point yesterday, Smitty, why did you get Derrick Henry if you're going to give them the ball, what, 6 times? 13 times. Now, let me break down 13 times real quick. They gave him the ball 5 times on the first drive of the football game. He scored a touchdown. He got the ball 3 times the rest of the first half. Make it make sense. Because you can't. The problem is, Smitty, what I said yesterday. You cannot blend under center Lamar Jackson with Derrick Henry and continue to get what we need out of Lamar Jackson, if that makes sense. I can't put him under center and try to feed the ball to Derrick Henry and still get the dual threat Lamar Jackson. I can't do it. Nobody cares about him under center, boot nakeding and doing all these things. Lamar Jackson in the gun, Smitty, is a whole nother danger zone. Now I'm a triple threat guy. I can RPO, I can run triple option, I can do all the same. Lamar Jackson in the gun last night was his most success he had. Derrick Henry's most success was under center. How are you going to blend the two? It was my biggest thing I said yesterday on this show. I'll continue to live on that and die on that hill. They can't. It cannot live. I didn't like the signing when it happened last year. I was the first one to say I do not like this signing. It does not work. It does not mesh. I was called a hater. It don't work, Smitty. It's total different combination of beings. Derrick Henry does not belong in that system, or Lamar Jackson doesn't belong in that system. It doesn't work. Lamar Jackson is not a good enough thrower of the football under center to have the success they need with Derrick Henry. They were better off with Gus Edwards or some slash back in the gun. It just is what it is. So I don't see it working. I love Monken. I love all these guys. But you cannot tell me that you can see a possibility of blending the two after watching just one game. And I don't want to hear it's just one game. Monken will do other things. I'm sure of it. But the truth of the truth is, he doesn't fit it, and you can't blend it, Smitty. Like Derrick Henry doesn't look good in the gun, and Lamar doesn't look good under center. He's not a good enough play-action passer, and he's not a good enough thrower on the run. So how are we going to boot naked him? How are we going to sprint him out and set him up? And I want to show the last play, and then you could cook. I want to show the last play, and this ain't a knock on Lamar and all this shit, because the Zay Flowers miss and all that, that's fine and dandy. I'm not going to just pick on a guy for one missed ball, but I want to break down his feet, and I want to show you what he does on a consistent basis. See, that he turned his back to the defense. Now listen, can I go back to the misplays, Bailey, that I sent you? I want to break down his feet, and I want you to see from the end zone copy here. Everybody's going to show this and bash him for this missed throw. See, this is where rewind it a little bit. I'll do it, Bailey, because I know where I want to stop it. Smitty, right here. I want to give you some QB 101 stuff. There's an old, and we're gonna have Shaun King on. There's an old adage in this position by coaching it. It's called don't be quick, don't be be quick, don't hurry. Okay, be quick, but don't hurry your feet. Lamar Jackson hurries his feet more than any quarterback in the history of the NFL because he knows his safe haven is to run with them. If you've ever watched Tom Brady or any of these guys that have been multiple Super Bowl champs, you watch them and they look like they're moving so slowly in the pocket. It looks like this. If you ever watch them. And they're sitting there with their ball high and tight, and they're just eloquently moving and manipulating the pocket. Eyes are downfield, and they're just boom, boom. Being quick and don't hurry is what misses this throw and makes this throw. If I'm being quick with my mind and my feet in this format, not moving around, running around, being quick and hurrying like Lamar, he makes this throw. It's easy. Step up right there. Look at that step up. He can step up and just make a simple throw. But he can't because he's always hurrying because he's a runner first, thrower second. And he hasn't been molded out of that mentality in 7 years. And y'all really think he's supposed to just flip the script, change his mechanic, get rid of all that ideology, and become a great passer to win a Super Bowl? It doesn't happen like that, homie. It just doesn't. And listen, that's a be quick, don't hurry, perfect scenario right here. This right here should be a step up. He should not run right there, Smitty. He should step up and just make a throw with his feet. Plant your feet, make the throw right there. You don't have to run. So, listen, that's one throw we're going to pick on, but I watched the game, Smitty. I watched every game, every play. He just, besides a bubble screen or a hitch ball or a fucking just tailback after tailback after tailback. 5 of his first 7 completions were to the tailback in the flat, Smitty. Fact.
Yeah, Justice Hill, I think.
So I just want to be honest. It's not sustainable. He got too many hits last night. I hate to see that because every successful run play they ran was Lamar Jackson +1 in the gun. It wasn't with Derrick Henry meshing with Lamar Jackson. Let that sink into all you guys out there that don't understand it. The most successful runs last night was Lamar Jackson in the gun, running +1, QB counter, QB draw, QB zone. It wasn't with mesh and triple option with Derrick Henry. They ran one play, and it was a design play. They ran QB zone keep with a floater. So I'm going to explain. Derrick Henry was on my left. We ran mesh with Derrick Henry, and Lamar Jackson had a design to pull it. It was designed, just trust me. The defensive end was not blocked on purpose.
Which means he wasn't reading, is what you're saying. Like, he knew off the back he was going to keep it.
He was going to outrun him.
Yep.
Because he had the floater on the backside. The floating tight end came underneath and was Lamar's lead back, and he got a 12-yard gain and a first down in the first quarter. Okay? So that was the most success. And then the next play, by the way, they ran shotgun, motion Derrick Henry out. Remember, I got a fucking memory that no one in this chat can tell you about. They motioned Derrick Henry out, and they ran QB counter. So they had a tight end likely down the left. We call folded. He came down. They wrapped the tackle and guard. They motioned Derrick Henry out. They ran QB counter with Lamar Jackson. He gained another 10 yards. That is the most successful run plays that they had. And Bailey, can you show the running game stats again? That's the stats that are most alarming. 16 for 122 by the quarterback, 13 for 46 by the running back. It just isn't going to work. And that's just my opinion. That's what my experience leads me to believe. This is just a truth-telling segment. It's not a hater. It's not a fucking bash Lamar. In all theory of things, Lamar Jackson, 26 of 41, 273, a touchdown, no picks, 90 rating is, again, don't look at stats because you saw the game. Y'all have eyes. He didn't throw the ball down the field. We all saw the yak yards by the receivers. He threw the good ball to Zay Flowers. The other touchdown was a broken play, again, that he made a miss on over the top, but he made the play. And that's what Lamar Jackson does.
That's all I care about, JB.
But Smitty,
I don't care about nothing else. I don't care about
Yeah.
it because football, that's what football is. It's a game of inches. It's a game of this. It's a game of football's about making plays. And all I know is this. Everything you just said, that was one of your best. I think we should clip that whole thing off, post it as a YouTube horizontal, and make it somehow a vertical. It might be a long vertical. You broke that down.
Before you cook on this, just let me end
I only got 2 minutes. Dr. Moore about to jump in.
You can't tell me that that's sustainable, Smitty. Broken plays are not sustainable, dog.
Not saying that.
Go ahead. You got it.
I'm not worried about a broken play because that's not going to be every game. Again, JB, it is one game. I know you. It is one game. But even with that being said, they're an inch away from tying this thing up and going to overtime. With everything you just said, with all the flaws with Derrick Henry and the mesh, right now you look like a genius based upon your Derrick Henry theory. We'll see if this stays true and stands true throughout the season. But as of right now, where we stand today, JB is absolutely correct. The running game with Derrick Henry and Lamar did not work. He had to be under center. Everything you said came true. But all I'm saying is this. When the Ravens offense was rolling, when the Ravens offense did go down the field and Derrick Henry scored that touchdown, the field goal attempts, the broken play, all that stemmed from Lamar Jackson. Now, is he a flawed quarterback? We know that. He's not traditional at all. He's not going to stand in the pocket with perfect form and perfect feet. That's not who he is. He's never been that. At Louisville, he wasn't that. In high school, he wasn't that. So they're allowing him to they're allowing him to showcase his gifts and who he is naturally. And when he's out there, to me, he looked explosive. He looked faster because last year, a lot of us, including myself, thought he had slowed down a step. To me, last night, he looked faster. He got his speed back. He was moving around, making plays. He obviously missed that big-time throw late in the game. We get that. That's a situation where you can't miss that. I have no excuse for that at all. He's wide open. You got to figure, to your point, step up in the pocket. If you're not going to step up in the pocket, you got to be able to find a way to be accurate. He's wide open. Just get the ball to him. Don't try to overthink it. Don't rush it. I thought he looked very rushed on that play, and that's why he missed it. But overall, man, when I look at this offense, and this is when I think Bailey and I were debating, it might have been offline yesterday or a couple of days ago about Russell and Lamar and this and the third. When I look at the Ravens offense, it's completely centered around Lamar Jackson. And Lamar, to me, even last night, even with his flaws included, he is the engine of that team. And I thought overall he looked pretty damn good. They missed it. Listen, at the end of the day, it's football. Chiefs made more plays than the Ravens made. It's simple and plain, and that's what it is. They're a half an inch away if Isaiah Lively can keep his big toe in. It reminds me of the Kevin Durant shot a couple years ago against the Bucks. You keep that big toe in, we're going to overtime. We might be having a different conversation. But listen, he has some things that he has to work on. It's early. I agree. I don't like how much he got hit. Lamar's a tough cat. He bounced up every single time. It was no hit that I was like, uh-oh, he might be hurt. He got him every single time. But in terms of sustainability, it's a 17-game season. If Lamar's getting hit like that week after week after week after week, that alone will slow him down. Just the punishment that he will be getting. So they got some things to figure out. But when I watch that game, I'm not leaving that game feeling discouraged. I'm not leaving that game feeling like, damn, man, the Ravens not going to be true contenders this year. Like, no, they're playing against the reigning Super Bowl champions, a team that's trying to three-peat, and they went down to the wire. To me, that's football. That's football. And you know, as a guy who supports Lamar Jackson on the show all the time, I'm not discouraged or upset based upon what I've seen. You mentioned the best runs was his broken plays. To me, that's or the freestyle plays. To me, that's credit to Lamar. That's credit to because last year in the AFC Championship game, us and everybody in media said, Lamar, now you're overthinking it. It's right in front. The first down's right in front of you. Just run and go get it. So now he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to just playing like me. I'm gonna go back playing loose. I cut down some weight. I'm gonna just be free and be Lamar and go with the flow of the offense. Whatever I feel like naturally is what I'm going to do. And he was extremely successful out there, freelancing, running on pass plays, and that's what makes him dangerous as a former defensive player. When you're going against a dual threat quarterback like that, and you have the perfect defense you think set up to stop whatever the initial play is, and this guy just says, "Fuck it, let me put the team on my back." That's the most dangerous and discouraging feeling you could place upon the opponent's defense, because how do you stop that? You can't really stop that because you can't game plan for that. You don't know what he's going to do, and that's what makes him dangerous. So I was actually encouraged by him. The Derrick Henry edition, I'm with you. We got to figure that out. They got to figure that out. Figure out some way to add him, include him more into the team. He still was decent. He had 3.5, average. That's all right. Got a touchdown. He was okay. He still helped, but it wasn't Derrick Henry, the way that we looked at him in Tennessee. So that's where I'm at, JB. I mean, that's where I'm at.
I thought I'd get a realer response from you than that. It just seems like you're defending him no matter what. You can come on here in 5 years from now, he's going to do the same thing. You'll still defend it like it's going to happen and change something. Like nothing's changed, Smitty. Just look at 7 years in, dog. It's the same guy. It's the same Lamar Jackson, homie. Like, when are you going to keep it real and say, this is who he is?
I'm cool with that, but my argument is that the same Lamar Jackson is a 2-time MVP and a guy who's in the AFC Championship game, a guy who wins.
You watch that game last night.
Games every year. So like,
you watch that game. You got eyes.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
You said you got eyes. You say you got eyes all the time, and you watched last night's game. And
he was the best quarterback on that field last night. I'll say that. He was the best quarterback on the field last night. I will say that.
Oh my God, I don't understand it, dog. Like I don't get it. I don't get how you can really sit there and tell everybody that. That's crazy talk. But anyway, you made a point.
You thought Patrick Mahomes was dominant last night? You thought you out there just throwing dimes all across the field and balling out? I saw him throw a pick straight into Roquan Smith's hands that a blind man could have saw. I don't understand when you Lamar Jackson had damn near 400 total yards of offense that he accumulated by himself.
Smitty, you're fucking
running and throwing.
Smitty, come on, dog. It's a fucking running back at quarterback, homie. Like, come on, dog.
And it works. Hey, call what you want. Call what you want. It works.
It hasn't worked.
It works.
I don't understand. I get defending a dude, but let's keep it real on the realest show. You got to start calling it out what it is. The motherfucker's not a great NFL quarterback. He's a great athlete playing the position. Like, let's just keep honest. Let's be real. He's not a guy that's going to win a Super Bowl. And if you thought that after watching last night's performance, you're delusional.
No, I thought that after watching the last 7 years of performance that he's capable of winning one.
It's year 7 now. You made a point that I want to touch on real quick before we move on. I don't know if Doc's going to make it or not. You said the Chiefs made more plays. I don't believe they did. I believe the Ravens didn't make enough plays. And that's a fucking huge thing when you break down games and watch them from the coach's perspective. You can also not make enough plays, which allows the other team to make more plays than you. Because if Lamar Jackson would have made more plays, you would be on this talking about what? Opposite of what you said. The Ravens made more plays, would you not? So if you do not make enough plays on one side of the football, the other team either A, gets more snaps at it, more time of possession, or more shots. You have to make plays on the other side or lack thereof, and that's what wins and loses games. I'm just telling you, Lamar, the lack of making plays last night with the bad combination that I've stated with Derrick Henry is the reason they lost that game. And I'm going to be honest, let's get away from offense. Patrick Queen's loss on defense is mind-blowing. I saw it all over the place. You're now asking Roquan Smith to now be the hash defender and chase down everything laterally, where Patrick Queen saved your half of the field. And over the last 2 years, it looked bad on defense, dog. That's not a Ravens defense that we're accustomed to, A. I'm glad your boy's back at DN. He's been out a couple years for injury. He came and played well.
Yeah. I didn't know.
The loss of Patrick Queen, dog, is a huge, huge glaring loss and hole on defense. And let me break down, if Doc don't come on, we'll take a break and get Matt in here. Yeah. Let me break down something for Chris Jones and all you D-line people out there that don't understand. Chris Jones was playing 5 technique more often than not last night. So everybody's clear what a 5 technique is. It's the guy on the edge. Can we show a video real quick? Just show the tackle, false start tackle or whatever. Any clip, Bailey. The 5 technique is the guy going up against your tackle, okay, in space. So this guy standing up right here, okay, in Baltimore in white. That's a 5 technique, okay? The tackle's in a stance on the left. This guy is a 5 technique. Chris Jones played that position last night. And if you watch Lamar Jackson's big runs, they were because Chris Jones was playing ghetto fabulous fucking football. And I'm telling you straight out is what it was. He didn't give a fuck. He had no rhyme or reason. He went inside. He went outside. He went in the same gap that the linebacker shot because he did his own thing last night. Chris Jones should not be on the edge. He just should not be on the edge. Every big play that I broke down last night by Lamar Jackson running was because Chris Jones gave up containments and did his own thing. And if anyone should know this better than me, it should be you, Smitty.
100%.
And Chris Jones went inside at the 5 technique and gave Lamar Jackson free reign all game long. When Chris Jones was at the 3 technique, his natural position inside, he dominated. They couldn't block him. When he went outside, as in the 5 technique, look at all the ass that he gave up for Lamar Jackson. He is not a 5 technique. He should be inside, but Spagnuolo puts him on the outside for one reason and one reason only, in my opinion. Because he thinks it'll demand attention by the O-line. And then what happens is they'll jump him and double him and allow an inside guy to eat. This is the problem in Kansas City. When Chris Jones goes outside of the 5 technique and does get a couple extra looks by the tackle tight end chip or a running back chip or whatever you want to do, they don't have anyone else inside, Smitty, close to Chris Jones. They don't have anybody inside close to Chris Jones. The Kansas City Chiefs have 2 glaring holes. 3 technique when Chris Jones is at the 5, nose guard when Chris Jones is at the 5, and corner safety. To me, they have 3 glaring holes. And I talked to 4 NFL guys last night. Chris Jones gave up ass at 5 technique last night. And if he wasn't at 5 technique, Lamar Jackson probably don't have 3 of those big runs that he made scrambling. Chris Jones did his own thing. And I saw Spagnuolo throw his headsets one time. And I guarantee you, Weddle and I were talking. He threw them because Chris Jones was doing his own shit. Chris Jones did his own shit on about 6 particular plays I watched last night at 5 technique. And it cost the Kansas City Chiefs on defense. And I don't believe that's a good recipe for success with the Kansas City Chiefs. They don't have good enough D tackles because they had to pay Chris Jones. They couldn't even pay Snead. They couldn't afford Snead. So they couldn't afford another D tackle. So I'm just saying, are they still formidable and good? Yeah. But I'm telling you, Chris Jones cost him at 5 technique, and he should not be out there, Smitty. I don't know why he was out there, and what he was doing at 5 technique blew my mind. And I'm just telling you, Lamar Jackson would have even looked more pedestrian last night if Chris Jones was at 3 tech, his natural position all goddamn game, and not out there doing his own shit. Because he did his own shit last night. I'm just telling you, you cannot sit here and tell me Tank Johnson, Shaun King, Matt McChesney, nobody would sit up here and tell you that that was what he was supposed to be doing. Because he spiked in B-gap 3 times, and the B-gap defender was in there as well. Yeah. He spiked C-gap one time when they had a backer spike over the top, the spill player. He spilled over in C-gap. Fucking Chris Jones spiked inside, and then he went outside because he saw the double and ran into the linebacker.
JB, that's D-line 101. You got to maintain, stay in your rush lane. Number 1.
Integrity.
Gap integrity, rush lanes. But you know how it is, JB. I'm sure you've had like some guy, and I know how you are as a coach, so you're going to get after their ass, but you know how it is when you got like a superstar defensive lineman, man. Like sometimes those cats will just go out there and freestyle and do what they want. And then you either have a linebacker that will make you right in those situations, or you'll screw up the entirety of the play. You know, it's like a hit or miss. It's like if Chris Jones goes over there and he gets a sack on that play, he's a superhero. He's amazing. He did what he wanted and it worked. But if you miss out on gap integrity and you don't make the play, now we're having this conversation right here. So I agree with you 1,000%. I think they're trying to move him around, like you said, a little bit to try to for matchup purposes. I know the Ravens are still trying to figure out their offensive line. They got some new guys on that line. I think they're trying to move Chris around to kind of give him in some advantageous positions. You know, when Aaron Donald was still playing, they would move him around a lot, put him at DN, put him at nose, put him all around the field, just so the O-line couldn't just go out there and say, okay, we're going to just double and triple team you every single play. It's like, all right, we don't know where Chris is going to be at, so like let me move him around to kind of dictate and kind of a little bit of control over how you can block us. But with all that being said, at the end of the day, it's hurting the Chiefs overall and hurting Chris Jones because he's a 3 technique. He's a true blue 3 technique. He's a good athlete at the interior position, but he's not just a great athlete, in my opinion. It's a guy who can just go out there and play all 4 positions on the D-line and beat at the exact same level. He's the interior guy. And as you stated, JB, in that first, quarter and a half, they couldn't stop him. They couldn't stop. Like, he was just right now. You snap the ball, he's in Lamar's face right now. And so I don't know why you get away from that other than, like I said, I think coaches is like, you know what? They're starting to double and triple team you on the interior. Let's move you around a little bit, free you up, and then hopefully allow the other guys to eat. But that's the problem. Who are the other guys? I do like George. They got George Karlaftis, who's been there for a couple of years. He's solid. I think he's at the opposite end though. So in interior, I don't know who they got. Honestly, I don't even know who the names are. The guys.
I gotta be honest though. The casual fan who watched last night's game and saw that it came down to the wire, and it was a toe touch out of bounds away from tying the game and possibly going for 2. You all think this morning that was a great football game. It was a very bad, poorly played, executed football game.
You think so?
I think so. I want to say I know so, but I'm going to try to be not as negative Nancy this year around.
If you gave it a grade, what grade would you give it? And hold on, as the first game of the season, too. Like, I think context matters. So, as the first game of the season, what grade would you give it?
First of all, without the ad-lib runs by Lamar Jackson, I think the Kansas City Chiefs dominated the football game. I don't.
But JB, like, you can't say that. Like, that's like saying without, Mahomes' big arm, or like you can't take away some like that's who Lamar is. He does that.
You can say it because at the end of the day, if you look at the game and you sit there and watch it and dissect it. And you sit there and like, okay, hold on. Where is the scheme? Where is the rhyme or reason blend by the coordinators? And how is this going to successfully move forward for the Baltimore Ravens? You don't see it. You can't sit here as a defensive lineman and a defensive guy, Smitty, today and tell me that you saw a legitimate attack and schematic by the Baltimore Ravens on offense. I feel like
they were just calling plays. Like they just calling.
And that's what you have to do with Lamar. Yeah. That is why Coach Roman did the best job ever with Lamar Jackson. It was a schematic every single day. You saw it. They were in 32, 22, 23, 11, float. They did so many fucking cold things with Roman. I got all that film and I watch it to this day. If I ever coach again, that's exactly because Roman and I run the exact same shit. So he did what he had to do in the NFL with Lamar Jackson. Now let's get our special guest in. Coach Jesse Morris can't make it in. Matt got in here early, so make sure you head on over to 0 to 60 Pod with Matt and Bailey. They're killing it over there. And we are on the eve of one of Matt's biggest rivalries from the Colorado perspective as an alum, Nebraska.
No red today. Do not wear no red all weekend long, y'all.
As Matt would say, shut the fucking gates, lock the gates, because that's the weekend that it is. So let's bring in Big Matt McChesney. Matt, you good?
What's up? Good morning.
What's up? Good morning. It's Nebraska weekend. First of all, I got to get your perspective on a couple things before we move into all the things with you. Last night, you and I broke this down last year in the Super Bowl. The false starts or i.e. illegal formations, whatever you want to say or whatever we want to call it. I broke it down earlier. I would love to get your take on the tackle standpoint. And I want to can you give us a take from the O-line and D-line perspective? And I want to be sure that I'm speaking correctly, so you can correct me if I'm wrong. The rule in the league that I'm aware of, and in college as well, is a hat to hip rule. Correct? My hat to your hip.
The tackle's hat needs to be on the belt line of the center.
Okay, the center, not the guard.
So, no, the center. So, like the left tackle here is correct. The right tackle here, that's penalty.
Okay, I was told wrong, and I've been looking at this wrong because I was told that this was a unwritten rule, and I've always coached it that way. As long as our hats are on the adjacent player's hip, I've never seen a rule called. I've never seen it called that if it's not that way.
They're doing it this year because last year, especially the dude from the Chiefs, was lining up in the backfield. It's like if you give yourself 2 more steps at tackle by your alignment, you're going to win a lot, a ton. You're already in position. You just have to short set. You don't have to kick.
Yeah.
So, look, I play guard and center, so tackle is an island that I did not want to play on, okay? Tackle sucks. Tackle's like corner. If you fuck up, everyone's going to see it, and you're the worst player on the field. You know, it's that old adage between O and D lineman where a D lineman can play 100 plays, and he has 98 negatives, but 2 of his positives are strip sacks and fucking fumble recoveries, and he's the best player on the field. Flip that to offense. You graded out at 98%, you're the worst player on the field. So,
all right, Matt, now talk about this. So if I'm in my stance, let's say it's legal. They're calling it legal.
Right.
Now, because my O-line would always I'd always point. I'd always move. I can move my torso. I can move. As long as I don't lift that foot up, there's no false start. Now,
foot or hand.
Or hand, correct. So I can, but if I'm at a 2-point, obviously I can point and correct. I can do whatever I want. So the rock of him without moving his foot technically is not false start, correct?
No, they're not saying he's false starting, dog. They're saying it's a legal formation.
Well, hold on, real quick.
Look, that's a false start.
Okay, that's what the question is. They didn't call it.
He's totally recoiling his foot. If I'm a defensive end or 3 technique and I see him do this, I'm gone.
But he's not moving it.
100% a false start.
You.
But let's be honest. I want to be clear though on the rule. We can all say what we want.
Was it called a false start?
No, not all game. So
look,
because his foot ain't off the ground is what they're saying though.
His right foot's off the fucking ground.
No, but he don't move. He's not right. He doesn't lift his foot.
He moves his whole body. If the guard moves like that, it's a false start. You can't flinch.
Because his hands are down though. His hand ain't down.
I don't really look. I guarantee you, Baltimore sends this into the league and says this isn't a fucking false start, and they call this next week.
But they did it in the Super Bowl last year. Remember, you and I broke this down. They did it all fucking Super Bowl long, and they didn't call it.
That's exactly why they're on everyone's ass about illegal formation, and I guarantee you that this is going to be a point of emphasis too. Look, Kansas City's figured out how to cheat the rule book on the offensive line. Period. They figured out how to fucking cheat the rule book on the offensive line, and it worked for them. And I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad. As an offensive lineman, if I ain't cheating, I ain't fucking trying.
Hey,
we got on the other side of the best goddamn fucking players in the world, the best athletes ever. And I'll spit in their ear, I'll tickle their nuts, I'll fucking give them a foot rub. I don't give a fuck. Whoa. I don't give a fuck. I'm just trying to keep them off my quarterback's ass. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm glad you're saying it, but please understand. Please give it the fans. We got 1,600 people in here live watching on YouTube. I appreciate everybody. We got 4,000 people in here. Tell me something. As a coach, I told Smitty earlier, that's fucking coach, and he's doing a hell of a job coaching it. I'm gonna tell you straight out, and I can't do nothing but respect it. If that motherfucker's coaching it and it's winning me Super Bowls, you can bitch all you want. Because that motherfucker
I can't sit here and say that the Saints and them destroying Brett Favre when they did, and that being coached, I can't say that was bad. They got a ring. I can't say that the no-fly zone in Denver when they were mugging receivers and ripping chains off was a bad thing. They got a ring. I can't say that Cam Chancellor ripping people's faces off in the Legion of Boom and them saying that that's illegal now. I can't say it's wrong. It got him a ring. So, the Broncos in 97, 98, when they were high-lowing motherfuckers and running zone scheme, I can't say they were wrong. It got them a ring. So this got Kansas City multiple rings. They're going – the NFL is now caught up with it, so they're going to do something. I guarantee you it's a point of emphasis, and next week if they do this shit, they'll call them false start. But honestly, I thought the refs were too involved last night.
Way too involved, Matt.
If that's the way the whole season's going to be, dog, I'm out. I thought the game was dog shit, and to be completely honest with you, the ending was cool. I like the ending, but Lamar Jackson looked terrible. I mean, he had no platform, no footwork, no delivery, air ball in the fucking air, just total air throws. I mean, he looked good running the ball, but again, I thought he wasn't a running back. Mahomes looked okay. I mean, Worthy, this is really fast. Look, it's typical first game jitters. Last year, the 21-20 game between Detroit and Kansas City was also garbage. So look, I understand that the casual fan just wants excitement at the end, all right? But I'm looking for good football, especially from the defending champion and the defending AFC representative in the conference championship replaying after they just played. So I know that people think it's hating, but I just want good football. And the refs were too involved. It was sloppy. There's a lot of shit that was missed. Why did you go get Derrick Henry if you're not going to hammer him 50 times?
Because it don't work, man. It don't work.
What the fuck? Why did you go get Derrick Henry and then throw the ball? What did he throw the ball 40 times?
I'm just telling you, dog. It don't
41,
work.
I think some. Yeah, Derrick Henry had
41 times.
I think Derrick Henry had 13 carries.
And you have Derrick. So they signed Derrick Henry. There's 13 fucking carries, 41 throws for Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry, dog, but this is how you lose, Baltimore. This is not how you win. That should be flipped. It should be 41 carries between fucking Lamar and Derrick Henry, or 50 carries and 25 throws.
Matt, I'm going to be honest.
And then they would have won the game, guaranteed.
So they gave them the football 5 times on the first drive of the game.
He scored.
And they gave him the ball 3 times the rest of the fucking half.
It's fucking pathetic, dude.
So
why did you sign this guy?
Real quick, just before I lose train of thought, before we transition, back to the O-line situation, right? So we showed you Jawan Taylor on the Chiefs, but can we show the Ronnie Stanley real quick? Because they kept calling illegal formation on Ronnie Stanley, like I think about 4 times. I want to say it might have been 3 times in one drive. On
the entire offensive line, other than the center, the left guard has a hat on the hip. The right guard maybe, but the right tackle and the left tackle are in the backfield.
They are okay. Got you. See, that's why I asked you because
we just need wide and firm. We don't need like a Jenga set, dog. This is fucking ridiculous. Get on offensive linemen. You don't need to cheat to win. You're smarter and fucking there's 5 of you. It's always 5-on-4, and if it is 5-on-5, the ball's gone. You don't need to do this shit to win. It makes us look bad. Get the fuck on the line of scrimmage and play football.
I just don't. I don't understand where the toe to heel rule, the hat to hip rule, all the rules we've been taught our whole lives are just kind of out the window now.
I've never seen it being exploited like this before ever, and you know it.
Like Matt, all the people in the chat. All the people in the chat, you got to read the rule book, JB. First of all, shut the fuck up. Second of all,
motherfuckers don't even know how to read and don't know where the rule book is.
Right. And everything that I started the show off with, breaking it down, is all things that I'm still going to stand on. There is unwritten rules in coaching and playing O-line and D-line that you all fucking casuals will never understand. We used to have a half moon rule, right? The center and the 2 guards are hat to hip. The tackles are hat to hip to them, and it looks like a half of a moon.
That's exactly what you're supposed to look like, not like that.
And it never was called ever. And then on this particular deal with the Ravens, they got 2 guys on the ball. The tackle and guard are at the same level. And then you got, look at the up top to the right.
How are they not going to call this?
It's just illegal formation is what this is. It's
illegal.
No, that's what they were calling. For clarity, they called this wasn't a false start. They were calling illegal formation back to back.
At least 4 times on Stanley alone.
Yeah, alone.
That is illegal formation, Smitty, because of the fact that
now go back to the
when I asked earlier, like we were all like, I don't know.
I was on false start tip. I thought you were talking false start. Okay,
yeah, but that doesn't look too bad. That looks like everybody's on the line of scrimmage and ready to go. You should be able to see the hat of the guy next to you, not the shoulder. So like the right guard, right tackle, that's good. That's good placement. I can't see Creed's hip. That's good placement. The backside, I can't really see his shoulder, but I can see his hat. The other tackle's getting down in the stance. It's probably going to be the same thing. That's a pretty good wide and firm pocket that's bowed. But the Ravens tried to pull a trick out of the Chiefs book in this game. They were like, hey, if they can cheat and get away with it, we can too. And then the league caught up, and now it looks like Baltimore is the corporate instead of Kansas City. I don't know how they do that shit.
Matt, I know everybody's here. Everybody's here to hear you and I and Smitty talk about Nebraska, Colorado. But before we move to that segment, I got to ask you your professional take on the mixture and blending of what I've been saying for 6 months. I thought it was the worst possible running back you could acquire in free agency to play with Lamar Jackson was Derrick Henry. I said it 6 months ago. I'm on record. I said it 6 months ago. I said it yesterday on this show. I said, watch what's going to happen. And it happened. It was an absolute to a T what I broke down yesterday. I broke it down today. You can't blend it.
Not Derrick's fault.
It's not Derrick's fault. I'm not saying it's Derrick's fault, man. I just want to get your professional take on
here's my professional opinion.
How are they going to blend this?
Find Greg Roman.
That's my point. That's what I just told Smith.
Go fucking fire your OC and go get Greg Roman so you can actually be physical and run the ball again. This new school Lamar shit might get you an MVP, and then it'll get you beat by everybody else because he can't do it by himself. And look, neither can Mahomes. Mahomes never does all this shit by himself. Let's be fucking real. He had the best defensive football last year, and Kelsey and fucking Pacheco and all these other, like, there's dudes, like, look how much Kansas City runs the football to support Patrick Mahomes. And then everybody thinks that Mahomes. And look how much Baltimore doesn't support Lamar Jackson running the football. And he wins the MVP because his numbers are great. But then when you have to be in a fucking dogfight against a team and not just the fucking Titans, you know, it changes. So you went and got Derrick Henry. Are you going to feed this man? That motherfucker should have had 30 carries last night, dog. He would have put 200 yards on him.
And let's break it down. I'm going to break it down real quick. First of all, if you're under center with Lamar Jackson, I broke the whole game down. You had a first down play action under center that was completion because it makes sense. Second down, they went right under center again and handed the ball off to Derrick Henry. Everybody in the building knew that was what was going to happen. A huge tendency in my place. I would have ran boot naked with them under center in the second play again. It was on first down. You just had a play action on first down. You got a 25-yard completion. I would have came right back on first down in the same formation. They were in 22-I formation. And I would have ran boot naked with his ass and put him on a little flood route concept and make him a runner-thrower. But guess what? They hand it to Derrick Henry. He gets smacked in the backfield. Then they go to the gun. Now you're back in Lamar Jackson's comfort zone. They ran +1 old-school wham counter tray with the Q. They motioned Derrick Henry out. They ran QB counter tray. And I'm sitting there like that was the number one run game last night was gun run for Lamar. It wasn't under center handing the football to Derrick Henry, because they know Lamar is limited throwing the football under center. So how are you going to blend the two is my question. I do not see it. I think it's a bad acquisition. I thought they should have stayed with more guys like a Swift or a Gus Edwards or some sort of back that can be in the mesh as far as RPO in the gun. Derrick Henry's not in the gun. Matt, 240-pound guy, I want to make hesitate at the mesh point?
I think it's fucking ridiculous. I hate it.
I want to fucking hand him the football, Matt, running A-gap to B-gap downhill.
Like, we need to double team, and we need to get nasty, and it needs to be fucking physical and loud and mean, and the fucking way football's supposed to be. I'm sorry. I'm stuck in Hobbytown hell, and it's like really affecting me and my love for the game. So I'm a little fired up today, to say the least.
Yeah, and then going on the other side of the football, the Ravens look as bad on defense as I've seen in recent years, and I got to look at it and say Patrick Queen loss is a glaring hole. Patrick Queen is now putting Roquan Smith from hash to hash where he used to hash their hash, and now Roquan Smith is trying to cover up for all inefficiencies on defense. Their D-line's not as good as normal. I think they got some problems in Baltimore, I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, I will say this. I think everybody in the NFL is going to have a problem after week one because week one is a lie. So I don't know.
Week one is a lie. I like that.
It's a lie. It's a fucking lie. Like every year, week one is. Remember when?
Especially with no preseason. Especially with no preseason. I'm gonna be honest.
This is my thing: is how long does the NFL want to fucking do this?
I don't know.
Like I refuse to bet on week one because week one is an extension of the preseason. So
and Matt, why are we going?
Like you're getting jobbed.
Well, the thing is, I mean, the Chiefs actually did play in the preseason, though. Like Andy Reid, old school, he still plays his starters in preseason, so they played heavily. So that's not no excuse for the Chiefs.
Here's the thing, though. We go 3 games, including the Hall of Fame game. That's a joke, right? That game was a joke. The fans left. It was an absolute joke. Nobody even played in the rain in Cleveland. So you go from that. You play 2 real preseason games. Half the league don't play in them, and then You have a week off to go back against each other yourselves, which is to me is asinine. And then you go to the game, and then half the games are overseas or in Brazil or some crazy shit.
He said half the games.
It doesn't make sense to me, Matt, on the way they're doing things in Roger Goodell land, and it's really like it's a joke. I don't understand it. And then let me be honest with you before we move into college football. Don't talk to me about safety ever again, Roger Goodell, because
and your safety talk, Roger. You're a bitch.
Never helped Matt. You've never helped Weddle. You never helped Tank Johnson. You've never helped the NFL.
You don't help your dog. You know how fucking I have the neurocognitive benefit in my pension, and it is like pulling motherfucking teeth. They told me I need to go in there and drool on myself in order to fucking get the benefit.
And Matt,
like, they don't give a fuck about the players. Fuck your safety talk, dog.
And you got them in fucking Brazil. You got your players in Brazil, and you're talking safety. And let's be honest, guys.
Shut up, Matt.
Let's be honest, guys. And Matt,
let me say, dog.
Let's just keep it fucking 100 right now. Please don't talk to me about the kickoff fucking rule. That is an absolute joke.
Oh, it's terrible.
Don't tell me about safety, and don't all you naysayers out here try to tell me that this was going to help special teams players earn a roster spot. How does it help a roster spot when you kick the ball out of bounds every fucking time? It's the same shit we just saw. This is a joke. I thought it was a mockery. It softened the game. It was gay. So I'm fucking tired of seeing it. I'm tired of seeing it. The kickoff was a joke. There was no returns. There was no fucking nothing. It was a joke, and I'm just so fucking tired of it.
Hey, everyone, I did not say that.
And I didn't. Me and Matt McChesney, Darnell Smith did not say that.
I
didn't say anything like that. It's like, real quick before we move on, Matt, JB he's great. JB's my guy. He's great. His takes are strong. And it's like something comes in, like internally where he like, I gotta go there. Like something. Look at his face. Look at your face, JB. Look at your face. Something happened. You just had to throw it out there.
Am I tripping, or is that a bad word? I never knew this to be a bad word.
I'm not saying that.
I don't think it's nothing, Matt.
I want to say the F word. I mean, that's the real word I want to say. I think that's the great American word, but a lot of you guys will fucking cry and bitch and moan. So I'll be canceled and fuck off, everything.
I just got yelled at for yelling. So we're good. Fuck. We live in the softest generation ever. People suck. Everyone's soft as fuck. Even people who think they're tough are soft. Everyone's soft. It sucks. It's just what it is, man. I wish I was around in like 1200 BC covered in chainmail.
I blame cell phones. I blame cell phones, social media. It's allowed you to hide behind who you are. You don't have to face anybody in their face anymore. You can snitch on motherfuckers. You can throw them under the bus. You can tattletale. You can email people behind your back and tell them.
Oh, that's the worst. Email snitch is the worst.
It's fucking unbelievable, man. I can't stand.
All right, let's talk about CU Nebraska.
Let's talk about CU, though, man. It's time to do a Colorado versus Nebraska, man. How are you feeling right now, number one? And I need some predictions from you, Big Matt. Talk to us.
I feel good, bro. I mean, look, I understand that they're dogs on the road, but we've beaten them 3 times in a row. It's 7-6 since 01. The narrative that like everyone's looking at Nebraska's helmet and they're like, oh, this is Tommy Frazier's. Like, what? I don't understand that everybody got duped into this, but it's pretty much the same team that they had last year with the exception of a rookie quarterback playing against the best quarterback in the country. And I feel like the experience of CU and the fact that they absolutely shit stomped them last year. Does everyone remember last year when we were on the show and everybody told me Nebraska was going to be too physical and beat the shit out of CU and Shador's soft and blah, blah. If they gave up 42 points to TCU, they'll give up 80 points to Nebraska. They're just going to run all over you. And it was 36-7 until the last play of the game. And then it was 36-14. It was a fucking slaughter. So, look, obviously I'm a homer, but I'm also realistic here, okay? My son's going on a recruiting trip this weekend to Nebraska. I think they invited him on purpose. They're smart. Okay, we're playing the game. So I'm going to wear my 6-0 gear there and be cordial. And then when the game starts, I'm going to leave, okay? I'm going to go walk around the stadium because I can't sit in a sea of red and not freak out. So we saw what happened last year in 101. So we'll see what happens this year in all of Memorial. Look, dog, this is a rivalry game, but it's not like it was. This is a rivalry game for the logos. It's a rivalry game for the alums. It doesn't have the same meaning it did back in the day. And this is what I mean. it really meant something on November 26th every year when we played Nebraska. Because if you didn't beat them, your entire season was shit. And you could be undefeated. Or you could be in a position to go to the Big 12 title. And if you don't win this game, your season's over. And you're still going to a bowl game, and it's still fun, but you just lost your rival at home, and they get to go play, and you get to watch them, and we get to sit at home. Now, every time I beat Nebraska in college, we went to the Big 12 title, and every time I lost to them, we didn't. So that it meant something different back in the day, but it still is very contentious. There's a lot of mutual respect between the coaches and the players, I think. At least they're saying the right things. And look, I know that every cracker-ass, redneck motherfucker in the world is going for Nebraska this year because, you know, Colorado culturally doesn't suit up to what they think, and you can take that however you want it. But I seem to think that what Prime and what they're doing in Boulder, they have the best quarterback in the country. If he played for Georgia, he would throw for 800 yards a fucking game. All right? Travis Hunter's a unicorn, the best player in the country, and should win the Heisman if he keeps on this path. Both of their tackles are elite players. Their interior three need to pick it up. But, again, week one, I like what I saw from their defense in the second half last week. They held, with you take away the quarterback runs, and Raiola's not much of a runner. Take away the quarterback runs, and it's like 3 yards a carry against North Dakota State, which is all take. I also think North Dakota State would beat UTEP about 49-0. So, everybody telling me that this Nebraska team is seasoned because they whipped UTEP's ass and all the backups were in the third quarter. I'd rather have a test against a 17-time national champion and a team that routinely beats D1 teams on the road. Look at the fucking list. I mean, holy shit. I'd rather be taken into the fourth quarter and pushed by them in week one than out in the third quarter and sitting on sitting back like we're really good in week one. Plus, CU had 10 days to get ready for Nebraska. They played Thursday, and Nebraska played Saturday. So it's a little bit of a mini bye, and you get to watch your opponent play and game plan them while the game's going on. Don't tell me that that's not important, especially you, Coach. Any extra time to game plan and get a trick is a good thing. I think CU is going to come out and give them really, really, really bad matchup problems because they've got – I mean, look. Say what you want about the line. Jordan Seaton is special. I like Tyler Brown. The interior three need to pick it up. But they only got sacked once, and all of the hits on Shedeur were because he's moving, eluding, breaking tackles, setting up. Like the one where he eluded, reverse pivoted, set up, and just turned his shoulders and just rocketed that motherfucker and took a shot. How does that, as a quarterback guy and a quarterback yourself coach and a quarterback coach, how does that not just make your blood fucking go up, dog? I saw that, and I'm like, that's a fucking leader, dude. He did it last year. He's doing it again this year. I just think that Nebraska has this, you know, you listen to that kid, you can't compare Raiola to Shedeur. You're right, dog. You can't. You can't. Shedeur is way better than Raiola right now.
I was about to ask you that.
It's not even fucking close. Raiola's got his first start. He's a rookie, and you're walking him into a rivalry game in week 2. All the pressure's on Nebraska. They're home favorites. Everybody's picking them to win. CU has nothing to lose, and they're better at quarterback. They're better at both tackles. They're better at receiver and corner multiple times over. They've got some dogs inside on the interior defensive line. Watch out for 97 to have another huge game. I know I'm a homer, but at the same time, bro, I know what I'm looking at too. So
facts are the facts, right? It's what it is.
Just be ready for. I yesterday when I was on Adam Character's show, I picked 31-30 Buffs. I think it's going to be a classic and a shootout.
So real quick, if the fans in here want to make some money, you know, sometimes we give away some free picks. You're saying betting the money line with Colorado is the way to go.
I think that, yeah. I mean, I took the money line and over.
Money line and over right there. That's your free pick. Make sure you go to Winnable if you want the rest of our picks. And real quick, I want to
look. I know I'm a homer, but I also on Monday night. I think it was Monday night. I took Boston College in the fucking under. So that little $100 bet was very nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
And everybody told me, why would you do that? Florida State's 16-point favorites. And I'm like, Florida State's soft as fuck. Bill O'Brien is about to hammer the fuck out of these people. And it happened. I mean, it's not rocket science, folks. Where do you have an advantage? And then can you take advantage of it? So if you could have an advantage throwing the football, but your quarterback's a bum. Well, that is not the case here. And look, I don't think Nebraska may have an advantage running the football hypothetically. Where do people get that? Like, is Nebraska's offensive line like the 97 Huskers or some shit, or the 94 Huskers? Like, is that?
They're gonna
trade out fucking Tommy Frazier Saturday? Come on, dog.
Before you get out of here, I know we got a next guest coming on, but here's my take real quick. I believe that Colorado has to run the football even if they don't run the football. And Matt knows what I mean. I mean, you have to run the ball even if you're getting stymied at the line of scrimmage. I just think you have to do it because I know Tony White personally. I know Matt does. He's a fucking legitimate D coordinator. He's an NFL guy. He's been around a long time. I believe he'll pin his ears back. If you're just going to throw the football as much as Colorado loves to do, I think they have to at least run the ball.
Establish the run.
But Livingston is the bona fide defensive coordinator from the NFL for CU too. So why isn't he going to do the same exact thing to a rookie quarterback?
He will. But I think Nebraska has to run the football. I think you have to run the ball in this game, regardless if you can get yards.
I agree. Both teams probably
you have to at least show it. Like you just let the show off with Matt. Fucking Lamar Jackson and the Ravens should have ran the football with Derrick Henry last night, even if he wasn't getting yards, because it would have opened up everything else. Yeah,
but that's I feel like that's the advantage they had last night. I feel like like when people are like, look, CU only had 50 yards rushing. Yeah, but Shador went for 445 and 4 touchdowns. They couldn't even start to cover our guys. They couldn't adapt to the formations. They couldn't play Tampa 2. When the safety split, we ate the middle of the field a lot. They couldn't cover Travis Hunter. Name one guy on Nebraska's roster that can cover Travis Hunter, and he's going to move everywhere. They're not just going to keep him at the X like they did this week. So we understand that Colorado has a professional offensive coordinator there too, and I understand Bronco fans hate Patty. I get it. But he ain't fucking OCing for the Broncos no more. It's different in college. So when you have the best two players, we'll put it like this. If you just take away the logos and look at the best players on the field, that's going to determine for me the majority of the time who's going to win. Okay? Like when I looked at Clemson, Georgia, it was 6-0 at halftime. But Georgia has Beck and 5-stars stacked to the ceiling. Clemson's got a bunch of fucking bankers on his team. Like Rodney White said, much cracker-ass crackers. He was not wrong, by the way, either. All you motherfucking white people out there who think that he's wrong and I need an apology. Are you serious? Are you fucking serious? Wow. So I just think that when you look at it, we're better at tackle. We're better at receiver 5 times over. We've got the best quarterback in the country. And they've got the experience of shit stomping this team last year. That's in their head too. Nebraska is overblowing this and going, hey, we got to pump ourselves up because we got fucking manhandled last year. It wasn't 39-37,
I think it's different
40-41.
Yeah, I think it's a last year Colorado went in the portal, got a bunch of freaks. I thought they out-talented Nebraska all day long, and it's going to be interesting chess match tomorrow to see if that's the case. Like you think.
So who are you taking? I know you're going to hate.
I'm going to take Nebraska to cover.
To cover.
Okay, so you think that
for sure? I think it's.
So you think Nebraska's going to win?
Yeah. I think they're going to win the football game. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, I might have misspoke. What's the line?
-7.
-7.
Nebraska. So they got to win by 8 or more.
CU to cover. I think you want to take CU to cover.
I'm going to take CU to cover. I'm sorry.
You got Nebraska winning, but you got CU covering.
I got Nebraska winning the game, though. If I was doing
close game, I see what you're saying.
How about you,
just like a Boston College game. I picked Boston College on Monday, Matt, to win on the money line.
Yeah. Man, when he broke that run at the end of the game, I was like, tackle him. And then they get him out of bounds, and I'm like, I look at Bree, and I'm like, I guarantee you Bill O'Brien takes a knee.
Hey, Smitty, give your take. We got to go.
I got Colorado winning. I got Colorado covering. So that's what it is, man.
Hey, Matt, we got to go, Matt. Hey, we'll see
Colorado's winning the game.
Matt, we'll see tomorrow, and we'll have a great discussion on Monday, I'm sure. 060 pod, follow that with Bailey and Matt. And good luck to Nebraska. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Fuck you, dog.
Later.
Later, Matt. Appreciate you,
Matt.
Take
us away.
We got Shaun King on the way. Give us 3 minutes, Shaun. We got to go piss and pay one bill. We'll be right back. Shaun King is on the way, bitch.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a man who he spoke to every single NCAA college football 2025 team seemingly on the internet. From Last Chance U, national champion, Coach JB.
Yeah, Coach.
What's up, gentlemen?
Coach, just great car, great stick. Thank you for pulling off to the side of the road. Hope you don't get killed here. Honestly, the side of the road, LA, I assume, that's not necessarily the safest place on earth. So we'll make this quick. How do you feel about all of these new coaches now in this NCAA college football 2025 game using your speeches to motivate these boys from one side of the country to the other, Coach?
I feel broke.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Can I get like a royalty or something? Like, Netflix already screwed me. I'm getting screwed by EA Sports now too? Like, holy shit. I hit him up. I reached out to him like, hey, trying to be cordial and nice. I'm a nice guy, you know me.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, EA Sports, maybe I can actually be your video guy and do a real video instead of using my name, image, and likeness.
Oh, shit.
And maybe I can get a little piece of the pie, but nah, it's all right. Just keep sharing my 500 million views of it.
I don't mean to laugh at you, but obviously you are a hilarious, miserable person, and this is kind of is how it goes.
Hey, Pat, I was actually chilling. My back went out yesterday, so I didn't even do my show today. So I just left my chiropractor, and I'm waiting on this damn cigar company to open. They're late, of course. I mean, come on.
Shit. Okay, so life is good. Last question for me, because I know the last time we talked to you, you had not watched the Netflix series Last Chance U. You said that. You said, I've not watched it, but obviously you've heard from everybody. Now, do you see some clips that come across your way? You're like, I don't remember saying that. And then all of a sudden, I killed that. And do you judge your clips whenever you see them? You're like, I murdered that one.
Nah. A broad came over to the house the other day, and I didn't really want to watch Netflix with her and chill. But she wanted to watch the show. We watched one episode.
Okay.
And I'm like, I can't watch this.
Okay.
And she was like, oh my God. I'm like, I don't want to watch this. It was the first scene of the cow scene or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, they only made about $4 billion off my name on this shit. I'm not watching Netflix either. So I'm spiteful right now, Pat. I don't want to watch Netflix. I don't want to watch EA Sports video game. I'm like, man, and I can't even get 40,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel.
Well, you're going to the moon. We appreciate the hell out of you, Coach. Hopefully it'll get figured out, and we know the Netflix and chill thing, what that leads to. Bad backs, chiropractors. We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach JB.
Yeah, Coach.
We are back in the building. Shout out to everybody pounding that like, subscribe, and becoming a member today on the realest show on planet Earth. We got over 1,600 people, 1,700 people in here on YouTube. We got 1,500 now, but shout out to all you guys for making it great. This is the realest show on planet Earth. It's Friday, and we got one of the realest former NFL quarterback, Tulane legend, and great knower of all things quarterback and football and basketball and Caitlin Clark and LeBron James, Shaun King. Welcome him in. Clap it up. He got the South Florida, rocking the South Florida. Let's dive right into it, Shaun. You were on Twitter last night, and you was going at those folks. I'm sure there's some in the chat that are going to agree and disagree. Where are you at with what was going on last night with the false starting, the hat to the hip rule that we've been talking about all day, and calling it on one team and not the other? Go ahead and have at it.
I mean, this was embarrassing. I mean, this was like egregious, like almost intentional. When you start a game out on national TV and you referee to the extent that they did the Ravens' first drive, then you allow 74 for the entirety of the game from the Chiefs to continually line up worse and start early and not call it once? I mean, what the hell was going on last night? And this is why I get so frustrated with the amount of money these networks pay to cover the NFL. Collinsworth didn't even bring it up. Like, they didn't even have a conversation about how egregious it was that they called it on the Ravens, what was it, 3 times in one drive, and never on the Chiefs. Like, it's embarrassing because everybody can see it. It's one of those things where, like, in boxing, when the champ is with the marketing and promotional and TV company, and you know he's getting his ass kicked, and the commentators act like they're watching a whole different fight.
Yeah.
Like, that was embarrassing last night by the NFL. Really embarrassing.
I don't know what to say.
You know what's funny though? Real quick though, it's interesting. You know, we've talked about it, JB and I, by ourselves. We brought Matt on here. He gave his opinion about the alignment and everything. Then you gave your opinion, and like some things we agree on. But I'm noticing that like each of us have different opinions on what's right, what's wrong, what's illegal. JB thinks that this is not a false start. I, and Matt think it's clearly a false start. Then the Ronnie Stanley clip, I thought the guys were perfectly aligned, but then Matt came in here and broke it down and said, no, both the tackles are way too far back. But then you, Shaun, just said that you think it's wrong. So like now it's like, to me, this is the problem. Like, nobody really seems to have a clear cut, like, what is the exact law of the land?
So
Hey,
here's
Shaun,
my
I want to get
issue.
your take as a coach, though. Let's take player away. Let's go coaching perspective, because that's what I think the fans.
So
and everybody.
if I'm on the Ravens sideline, I would have got a penalty because you established the criteria for what illegal formation was on the first drive of the game.
Right.
The referees decided this is what we're calling. This is a point of emphasis. 74 was more egregious in his alignment than any of those 3 calls.
Right.
So that's what I'm going by. Like, I was surprised Harbaugh didn't get a penalty. I would have ran out and stood next to 74, like to make a point of it.
Right. Like look at him.
Shaun, I gotta see. I'm gonna stand on the hill that I'm on because I just know that the rules have always been either A, unwritten ones when it comes to the O&D line, or B, what we actually see that we don't understand or know. We've always coached and played with a hat to the hip rule. Matt said the rule by the letter is hat to the center's hip. We've always played by the adjacent player hat to the hip. So my right tackle had to have his hat to the right guard's hip. Right guard had to have his hat to the center's hip, and vice versa on the left side. So nowadays we're getting nitpicky with it because the Chiefs exposed it in the Super Bowl. We saw some things we were like, what's going on here? Is it false start? Blah, 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 blah. Shaun, you and I have always had the half moon offensive line look. Center on the ball, the 2 guards are hat to hip, the 2 tackles are hat to hip to them. It looks like a half a moon. Now all of a sudden, we got the Ravens guard and tackle on the same level. They're calling that on the right up here. That's illegal formation because those 2 are not hat to hip. And then the Chiefs right tackle is in the backfield. So like it's a joke to me. Like to me, it's like we're now calling what we've never called for 40 years that I know football, and now we're calling it. All the people in the chat think, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. And then you got a guy that's nitpicky and going by the letter of the law to Smitty's point now, we don't know what the rules are. So we had unwritten rules, Shaun, for all of us. Like you know and I know. And the gun was different than under center. Everything changed, and that's how we coached it. So where are you at with this whole thing?
I don't have a problem with 74's alignment outside of the fact of how they officiated the Ravens.
Right.
I don't think you can be biased in a game and penalize one team and then allow the other team to get away with it. That was the egregious thing to me. They came out of that locker room and said, we're going to make this a point of emphasis when the Ravens got the ball first. And then after that, nothing matters.
And then, Shaun, the thing is, too, like to double down on that, I'm assuming that the reason why they were so aggressive on that call is because last year people were complaining about who? That same tackle for the Chiefs. Like he's the culprit. He's the guy who started this gangster shit. And we're blaming the other team now. It makes no sense.
The Chiefs fans were talking about how bad he was.
Like, but you don't call it on him.
It almost made it look like the refs had the Chiefs minus the points.
Now
this seemed intentional. This seemed intentional. I mean, it wasn't like 74. 74 was a yard further back than any other calls on the Ravens. Look at him. And this was every play.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm just.
How Shaun, is this a false start, in your opinion, as a quarterback? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
JB, I don't know what to say.
And he's illegal.
Yeah, I don't agree. Because I taught rocking. As long as you don't lift that foot up, I taught rocking. It was an advantage. And I think Kansas City's offensive line coach I know him well, great as it gets, and he's old school, and he's definitely teaching this. And it's getting coached, and it's working. And I'm just telling you, I cannot knock it. I can't be mad at it. I understand Shaun's point, but I'm just telling you straight out, that's being coached right there. That's something I used to coach. As long as that foot don't come off the ground, Shaun, and you and I know, I can sit up here all day in a 2-point stance, Shaun, and I can fucking move my torso. I can bend. I can point. I can rock. As long as I don't lift that foot off the ground, Shaun, it ain't false start to me. And I'm trying to take every advantage possible as a coach.
So I'm not going to die on the hill. All I'm saying is what's good for the goose got to be good for the gander. Especially in a standalone national game. You got to call it fair across the board. That was bogus what happened last night.
Let me transition, man. Staying on the game, though, man. JB came out, Matt came out, said, they thought this game was horrible, just hard to watch. And also obviously said that Lamar Jackson looked really bad. I don't think he looked great personally, but I'm not looking at that game like, oh my God, like Lamar got so much to learn. But I want to hear from you, man. Like, what was your biggest takeaway outside of the rules? What was your biggest takeaway from that game, just watching it in totality?
Lamar and the Ravens are delusional. To think that a guy with his skill set can miss the majority of the offseason program. Remember, he didn't get paid a bonus because he didn't show up. Not take a snap in the preseason and show up in game one and be ready to go. He looked terrible last night. He threw maybe one ball in rhythm from the pocket. It was an in route to Zay Flowers early in the game. That's about the only in rhythm throw he made from the pocket. His pocket awareness was awful. He was jumping around the pocket like a damn high school quarterback. He was throwing off balance. Look at him moving in the pocket. Why? That's a clean pocket. Bailey, rewind that one more time. What in the hell is he doing?
Step up.
That's a clean pocket. What is he doing? And then you wonder why the ball's high and late, the likely. He missed the corner route before that because he's moving around. He missed Zay Flowers, the play after that, because he's moving around. I mean, and this is a guy that's got 2 MVPs. If this was a rookie quarterback or this was a marginal player, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Like, look, go back to this. Look how open Zay Flowers is. Like, where's Lamar going first? That's a
step
clean
up right
pocket.
there. Stand tall.
Like, Zay's wide. That's a clean,
Shaun, let me ask you.
Chris Jones was scaring on them footsteps, man. Chris Jones.
Shaun, I broke it down earlier. I said our number one thing as a quarterback and a coach is be quick, don't hurry. That's our number one saying to quarterbacks. And if you ever watch Shaun play or myself or Tom Brady or guys that weren't freaking natures with their feet, but we stepped on our inside of our balls of our toes, Big Smitty. So we want to be on the little toe on the outside and on the big toe on the inside, Smitty. So it's like a ballerina. I'm like a ballerina.
Right.
So I want to be quick, not hurry. So all you got to do is step up here, eyes downfield, and then make the throw and slow down your mind and your feet. So we want to be quick up mentally. We want to be quick with our torso, slow with our feet, even though we know he can run. He can run. He can always run. He thinks he's a runner all the time, though. So his feet are always fast, and he'll never slow them down to make an accurate throw, and that's what you continue to see. This wasn't game one, Smitty. Stop saying it's game one, homie. Shaun just broke it down. If you're not going to invest in this thing in year 7, you can't give him an excuse for game one every year being bad. He's fucking bad all the time.
Well, listen, I don't look at it from a QB lens. So like I'm gonna be the guy standing on the hill. I thought it was a decent. I get like a C plus game from him. I don't think it was as horrible as you guys thought, and that's cool. Like agree to disagree. You guys will always look at it from the very technical quarterbackial. This is what we were taught. This is how you draw back. This is where your short's supposed to be, the alignment, the footwork. Lamar is not that, will never be that. So if that's what you guys are always going to judge him based upon, if you're going to judge him based upon how you guys played the game as more of a traditional quarterback, then he will always be horrible because that's just not his game plan. I'm looking at it from a standpoint like, forget, like, all right, fuck the quarterback rules. Who was the clear-cut focus and leader and the guy who kept that engine going on the Ravens last night? To me, it was Lamar. It was good. It was bad. It was ugly. We saw everything last night. But when these guys were driving down the field, when these guys did go down there and get field goals, when Derrick Henry did score a touchdown, when the broken play to Isaiah Likely, this was based upon Lamar Jackson's just natural ability. So all I'm saying is I give him credit for the natural ability, for the 122 rushing yards, for the freestyle. I give him credit because those are just natural things that a D coordinator can't coach you up on. He can't prepare a defense for Lamar Jackson. You can't tell the scout team. So I like that. But again, I play D-line. I'm looking at it from a standpoint of like, man, I would hate to fucking play this guy.
So Smitty, here's where I differ with you. He was born with those gifts. The fact that he has the skill, but he hasn't taken the time to refine the other nuances is why I'm so critical of him. If he had showed up this offseason, if he had gotten reps in the preseason, that'd be different. But he walks around like he's some king that's impervious to the fact that he hadn't gotten better in the areas he's weak at.
All right, Shaun, here, I'm gonna read you a text, Shaun. I gotta read you this text because you're spitting fire, and this is exactly to go against what Smitty's saying. Smitty sees it as an athlete out there running around, and he having to chase him as a D lineman. You and I and his coach in college, Garrick McGee's talking to me right now watching the show. He's saying Lamar has digressed tenfold since Louisville, and it ain't close. Louisville's Lamar Jackson, to all you people in the chat, could actually make throws on time, threw the football on time. Bobby P's a quarterback guy, would motherfuck Lamar Jackson every single time he could. And Lamar Jackson was not only the Heisman Trophy winner, he fucking was a baller in college. Go watch him throw the football. Even though we knew he had a low platform, we had some mechanical issues, he threw the ball on time. He was accurate. He has digressed tenfold. And this is from a guy that coached him in college and recruited him. So, and he recruited AR5, by the way, too.
So he thinks, look, just for clarity, he thinks Lamar Jackson was a better quarterback 7 years ago at Louisville than he is today.
Not even close.
All right.
So I don't want to throw T. Martin under the bus because I really don't know.
Fair to him, Shaun, and that's my point. That's you and I's guy.
Right.
He just got him. He just got him. He was coaching wideouts.
Right. I don't because I don't know the dynamics in the organization, but it looks like Lamar doesn't have accountability in the Ravens organization. I'm just telling you, he was high school Houdini last night as far as pocket presence. Like, it was embarrassing. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, Collinsworth is doing such a terrible job of painting the right picture for this game tonight. I mean, he missed the egregious refereeing. He never brought to the light the fact that Lamar looks rusty. Lamar needs reps in the preseason. Lamar needs to constantly work on throwing the ball in rhythm from the pocket. We know he can scramble around. We know he can extend plays. He threw a deep ball that he should have threw without arc on the post route. Then he came back when Zay Flowers beat the guy outside. That ball should have had arc, and he didn't have any arc. Like, it's little nuances. Like, I was like, man.
How do you one more question before we transition to another topic. I'm going to go to college football after this. You guys as quarterbacks, so we're saying that he's digressed tremendously as an actual thrower of football. How do you forget those things though? Because it takes time to even get to the point of which he was at in Louisville. You got to build that. You got to work on that to get to that point. How do you get to NFL? Because remember, he played as a rookie. Now, he didn't start initially, but he ended up taking over 8-9 games in or whatever. So, how do you go from that to now? I forgot everything.
Why are you saying he forgot something?
I'm asking you.
Why are you using it? Why are you saying the word forgot?
What happened then? There's no way. You understand? He
hasn't been cold.
He had on the two. How do you go from there to being like? Fuck
I don't understand why you missed the fucking point on this. He hasn't.
I'm asking you a question, homie. You can ask. I'm asking you a question. That's what I'm asking you, quarterback. Ask him a question.
No, you're always on defense mode for Lamar Jackson, homie. The truth of the matter is he's not very good. And I'm going to be honest with you. The truth of the matter is he hasn't been coached up He hasn't been coached up in the NFL, is the point. It hasn't that he forgot something, Smitty. He hasn't been coached up. He has an IG Instagram trainer that he goes with to Florida, and all you see is him throwing 9 balls. You see the same platform, the same footwork, the same drills. You don't see him get better or improve. If you watch Jalen Hurts from day 1 to day 2 when he attained an NFL quarterback coach, look at his mechanics. His elbow went from here to here. Jalen Hurts' mechanics got totally better, and they went to a Super Bowl. Now,
Jalen Hurts ain't touching Lamar Jackson. So try that. So, I mean, bad comparison.
Dog, you keep saying this, homie. You keep saying this, dog. Like, not touching him how? Because he can run faster? Is he a running back, homie? Like, miss me with your shit, homie. This motherfucker's delusional.
That's why he got stuck, because you know good and fucking well Jalen Hurts can't sniff Lamar Jackson. That's why you got stuck.
Delusional, Sean.
I said what I said. He can't sniff Lamar Jackson.
This motherfucker's delusional, Sean. Go ahead, Sean.
Go ahead, Sean. Then we'll move on to this.
So he's not a natural thrower of the football.
We know that.
So you have to emphasize
but he plays quarterback.
That part of playing the position. So when you have a quarterback, Smitty, if you ever become a head coach and you coach quarterbacks, wherever they're weak, you have to rep their weaknesses and turn those into strengths. And so you can tell in practice, he's not being forced to throw the ball in rhythm. When they go in team drills, when he throws a swing route and it's a yard behind the guy, nobody's saying nothing. When they throw those screen passes and the ball's an inch off the ground as flowers instead of in the numbers, like you can tell that stuff's not being emphasized. Ball location, rhythm, decision-making, timing. Like, I'd be on his butt every day. From the time we start warm-ups, pat and go, to everything. Ball security is awful. Now, he's such a great athlete, he still can be productive.
There you go. I appreciate that. I wish the Ravens, we can get the Ravens on Hard Knocks to get a lot of these questions answered. And Hard don't tell you everything, but right now we're all just kind of making assumptions because we have to. Like, we're not there, so we're just kind of guessing based on what we're seeing on tape. But it's just hard. It's hard to believe that. And again, I'm not a coach, but I've played for a long time. It's hard to believe that a coach would just sitting back, letting motherfucker just do what he want. But again, I guess when you're making that dollar amount and you're in the NFL, it's probably a big difference than obviously being in college to where, you know, you're still
at what point in your life do you realize at what time, like what is the time level that you give a human being to be a complete fuck up? If a guy was a liar and he lied to you every single day, how many years do you give him before you say this guy's a fucking liar? I just want to know. Or a thief. If he stole from you.
All I'm saying is this.
No, answer the question, homie. We're in year 7. And it's the same dude we've seen for 7 years.
And he got further last year than he's ever gotten in his entire career.
When are you going to come on and say, you know what, dog, Lamar Jackson's just not the guy?
And in year 6 or year 7, he got further than he's ever gotten in his entire career. So I'm cool with that.
You can't answer the question.
In year 7 or 6, he got further in his career than he's ever gotten. He was a game away from the damn Super Bowl. So I'll take that. Moving on to college football, though, real quick, man. I don't know if you guys saw it, Shaun King. Yesterday, USC retired number 13 in honor of JB's favorite quarterback, Caleb Williams, as well as my guy, Reggie Bush's number 5. They retired him on the same day, which made me feel a little weird. But let me start with you, Shaun. I want to hear JB after this. Do you have an issue with them retiring Caleb Williams' jersey at all? Let me know that. He played for 2 years.
I don't, because he won a Heisman there.
Okay.
So anytime a player wins a Heisman, you can't argue with him getting his jersey retired. But I think this is more, they want some of that NIL money back. They want him to donate to the collective. So what better way to ingratiate a current player who's about to, in a couple years, probably come into, I mean, the quarterback's are getting, 200 plus now? In 3 years, when Caleb's deal comes up, if he's like half as good as we think, it's probably going to be 300.
Yeah.
So USC is putting themselves in a position to get some of that bread.
JB, tell me your initial reaction when you saw this headline, when you saw he was getting his jersey retired. Also, again, at the exact same time as they announced Reggie Bush, you know, and I get he had all the little whatever situation going on, so he couldn't even come to campus. So that's why Reggie Bush's jersey is just now being retired. But nevertheless, it happened at the same time. When you saw this news, JB, what was your reaction?
A joke, a mockery. He's not even a USC recruit. College football has done this. I'm not going to totally blame. I think the landscape has done this. You can bring a guy in. To me, he's not even to me, it's like these borrowed guys win a Heisman for that university. It's like they should take the Heisman because he's really not a USC Heisman winner. He was there for 1 year and won the Heisman. He just got there 6 months, wins a Heisman. He was a borrowed guy. That's how I look at it. What degree did you earn? Where's your degree? No, I'm saying he won the Heisman though, year one.
Yeah.
Where's your degree from? How many schools are you going to go to? What is it going to say? First of all, Todd Marinovich should get his retired then. He wore 13, by the way. He had a much better USC career than Caleb Williams had. And I believe he won bowl games. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just going to throw it out there. So I'm just trying to figure out why he's not and this guy is on a borrow contract. Like, I don't get it. It's a dumb shit to me. You could take away Reggie Bush and then add him back, but then you can make Caleb Williams retired day one? I don't get it.
I'll tell you this. I think this is going to become a trend because schools want the donations. They want these guys to commit big money to build better facilities, to enhance the collective. And what better way to do it than to ingratiate yourself? This used to be something that they didn't retire a number till your NFL career was over. Like, this was way down the line. But you can see, like, this. I bet this is going to become a trend now.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's crazy. Before I know we got some other questions for you, Shaun. I got to ask you though, going backwards to Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, how are they going to blend Derrick Henry with Lamar? I just got to ask you as a guy because I broke it down yesterday. I broke it down 6 months ago. I thought it was the worst running back acquisition that the Ravens could have gotten was Derrick Henry. I love Derrick Henry. I think he's a big time back. But he needs to be going A-gap to B-gap, 100 miles an hour at 240 pounds, get his shoulders square. And in coaching, Shaun, you know damn well, I'm not trying to be in a mesh point with a 240-pound back that has to square his shoulders to the line of scrimmage and get vertical and then jump cut a 3 technique or a shade that shows color. I got to now jump cut him out of the gun. I don't see it working. I don't see it working because there's two things, Shaun, and I want to get your professional opinion. You got a guy that's under center to appease the back. And I've been beating the dead horse on this. But he can't throw under center. And he can't turn his back to the defense. And you got a guy that's in the gun, and Derrick Henry is 240 pounds who needs to be waiting for a mesh to occur that can't get going. I don't see how Monken blends it. I've always said it. I think they need like a Swift or a Gus Edwards or some type of back. Because Lamar Jackson's most positive plays last night were broken scrambles and QB run 1+ game. Counter tray, QB power. They ran QB counter tray twice. They ran QB power, and they ran a zone read float with the backside tight end wrapping around, and they pulled it. How is that going to work?
I don't think Todd Monken knows. I mean, the one thing that the Ravens didn't really have to me was an identity. I mean, Derrick Henry got a carry on the first play, then he wasn't in the game the next 3 plays.
He got 5 carries on the first drive and 3 the rest of the first half, and he scored on that first drive.
They're using Justice Hill as a third down back, yet he didn't have any juice in the open field.
And 5 of his first 7 completions. 5 of his first 7 completions were to him in the flat.
They've got one juice guy on offense, and that's Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
Like somebody, when he gets the ball, he's explosive. He can change direction. He made Mark Andrews invisible. Can Mark Andrews not play anymore? Andrews didn't have a target to damn near like 6 minutes left in the first half. Like, I don't know what Monken's doing. I know they like.
You got to get a new tight end, Shaun. You got to get a new tight end. You got to get new wideouts. You got to get another new coach. You got to get a new coach. You got to get a new coach. You got to get a new tight end. You got to get more wideouts because Lamar never has enough. It's never Lamar's fault.
I ain't say that. Ain't nobody saying that, man. Ain't nobody saying that. Listen, man. Hold on, man. Hold on, man. The Ravens have been one of the best teams in the league every single year. Every single year. They were they were in the AFC Championship game last year. Winning a Super Bowl is extremely hard to do. Ain't too many quarterbacks doing it every year. Josh Allen ain't got a ring. Joe Burrow ain't got a ring. Fucking Dak ain't got a ring. Kirk ain't got a ring. Let's go through all the list of the main quarterbacks. Matthew Stafford finally got a ring after fucking 20 years. So listen, it's hard. I don't care how great you are. It's hard to win a Super Bowl. And if that's no, I'm not gonna stop. If that's gonna be the only bar in how we evaluate Lamar Jackson, well, hell, Who fuck? I need the same energy on Phillip Rivers. Everybody ain't no. Don't talk to Shaun. Shaun with me. He a brother. Shaun's with me at the end of the day. If shit hits the fan, and we go back to the old school, me and Shaun is fucking together. Sorry to tell you that, JB. That's what it is.
Ain't real recognized real. But Shaun, I wish Matthew Stafford had the Ravens defense for all those years.
Sound like an excuse to me. If you great, hold on. He had Megatron. He had a top 5 receiver of all time. I don't want to hear that.
Shaun, we got other topics.
We got other topics, Shaun.
But I'm gonna be honest though, I really don't see this blended. On all seriousness, I don't see it being blended because that's why Roman was so successful with Lamar and why that was such a daunting task to defend. The 1+ game with Lamar and in 32 personnel, 23 personnel, 22 personnel. I got all the film. I watched all that film, and I know Roman well. Watch how the Chargers are this year and how they run an offense. And then everyone blamed Roman. Get him out. When are we going to blame Lamar Jackson is my only question. I love the kid to death. Great character, great athlete.
You don't love him. He don't love him. It's fake love.
I just don't get it, Shaun, and because I don't think you can be successful if you're very limited. And I'm going to ask you something. The most positive thing last night I took away was that he lost fucking 12 pounds. That's the only thing I kept hearing. Oh, he lost 12 pounds.
Look explosive, Shaun. Look bad. Look twitchy last night again. I love it.
How much? How real check? You're a 200. You just signed him on a $200 million motherfucking contract, and you hit him. You got him put in harm's way 20 plus times last night. Like, make it make sense. Why are you banging him? Why are you banging this dude, Shaun? 16 possible opportunities. Plus, don't forget 41 other opportunities because Shaun, when he drops back to pass run, it's 90% chance he's going to take off.
Let's put it like this.
Put it like this, Shaun. Put it like this.
There's no sustainability in how we played last night.
Shaun, right now.
So just from a health standpoint, the not running out of bounds, the attacking the defenders on the side,
lower the shoulder on the corner, ran him over, lift him up and down like a football player.
I actually come from an era where that's how you ran, but can you do that for 16 weeks?
Lamar can.
I think what we've seen in the past too is he starts the season off like this, then he gets banged up, and that shoulder or that leg or something starts bothering him a little bit, and he's not the same guy. And my thing is this. When God gives you a gift, use it to help you win. But refine the areas where you're deficient at the same time. That's my issue with Lamar.
Shaun,
I'm not saying he's terrible.
Maybe he can't, Shaun.
I don't agree with that because I've taught quarterbacks who have skill sets like Lamar. Pocket passer.
But what I'm saying is, hold on real quick. Like we make it seem like it's so easy. Just get better at it. Well, I bet every quarterback in the league wish they could just get better at something. I bet Sam Darnold, who's with fucking street clothes on, looks like the second coming to Tom Brady. But you put pads on him, he fucking sees ghosts. I bet you probably let me coach him up, and I could. It sounds every coach thinks they can just grab a quarterback and just make them the best quarterback ever. Sometimes guys just can't do it. Sometimes it might seem simple. Maybe that's just not who Lamar is. Maybe he has some internal. Now, I'm not saying skill set wise he's incapable. Sometimes it's just something about his intangibles or whatever the case may be, where he's just like, man, this is who I am. This is who I am. Take it or leave it, and go with it. That's my thing.
I just think. Listen, I think that when it comes to quarterback play, you look at it as a guy chasing the guy around, and
I look at production.
But he's not producing, dog.
How's he? All right.
He cost his team last night. He cost his team offense last night.
I'm just gonna disagree.
Hey, Jared M say find a significant other that thinks of you the way Smitty thinks of Lamar.
My thing, I just don't get it. So at the end of the season, when the Ravens win another 12, 13 games and they're first or second seed in the AFC, they go out there and win the playoff game, whether they win a Super Bowl or not, like to me, all that matters. That the underlying thing between me and JB, because I know how he thinks now. He's either like it's Super Bowl or bust. Anything under that,
not really though. Matter. Not always.
Me, I look at like to me the Ravens' success every single year the last 7 years, how many games they won, the seed. They're in the hardest division in football, and they're always number 1, number 2 seed. To me, that matters. Winning MVPs matter. Makes the AFC Championship game that matters. But you guys just look. I'm gonna say, Shaun. JB looks at it and just like throws it underneath the table. Like it is none of that matters. None of that matters. If he's not winning Super Bowls, none of that matters. I just can't. I can't get funky with that. I can't get jiggy with that. I'm sorry. So agree, disagree. But Shaun, we talked a little bit of college football a few minutes ago. I want to go back to college football. Shaun Moore, head coach of Michigan, allegedly is coaching without an officially signed contract, says the Michigan AD.
That's crazy. I saw that.
That's kind of like
I dove into it a little bit.
Go ahead.
Because I'm trying to get him on the show. He texted me. He's going to try to pop on during the season. I asked him about this, and he said it's all technicalities. This is normal. I don't think he's worried about it. Remember, he was a lame duck guy that had to come in for a coach that was 6 times during the season last year. So now they are now evaluating his whole process with agents are involved and people like that. This is just a technicality. They wouldn't have given him the job. He's not an interim hire. He is the head coach. So he just has to get this all ironed out, and it's all on negotiation. So it's not a big thing. He's not worried. Nobody's worried.
I don't have a problem with this because I understand both sides of it. Warren Manuel is like, if you weren't Harbaugh's guy, you probably wouldn't be in the running for this job because Michigan's such a big job. I mean, there are successful sitting head coaches that would leave to come to Michigan. So, first of all, a great opportunity for Shaun. And Sharon's agent is like, okay, we know it's a big job. It's a certain price point to come with this job. So I can see how they're far apart because I think the contract he's under currently is middle of the road in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
When normally the Michigan position would be 1 or 2 highest paid jobs. So I see play the year out under this current agreement. I forget the name of it. And then at the end of the year, if they're successful, go and get, what this job, in my opinion, deserves.
Yeah, no question. Shaun, we got
I
you
will
about
say this. While I'm talking Michigan, I've got Michigan outright Saturday.
over Texas
Yes, Michigan's winning. They're winning outright.
with a walk-on QB.
Yep. Listen, Fresno State's better than people think.
I always say that. I said that.
Fresno State team has some athletes. I still don't think Texas has replaced T'Vondre Sweat and Byron Murphy. And I think this is the game that shows up. I think Michigan's going to dominate in that interior line, and they're going to get a win at the Big House.
Ooh, man. That's a
one.
hot take, JB, ain't it?
Yeah, that's a big take. I think Texas is too legit on the perimeter. I think they're too good on the perimeter, and I think that Quinn Ewers is better than a walk-on. I'm just going to rock with that. Fresno's always going to play good at game ones. Shaun, historically, Fresno State comes to play game one regardless who they play, and they always play someone big. So that game was close, and I think it was only close because Michigan's quarterback is just very bad. So I don't know what they do offensively going forward, but Texas will be better athletically overall because they're deeper up front, especially O-line, D-line, and they got a quarterback, I think, that is just better than a walk-on. I don't see how Texas loses this game, even though it's at the Big House. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But I got to ask you about tonight's game. We got to dive into tonight's game before you get out of here.
Yes, sir. Eagles and Packers in Brazil.
Where are you at with this, and what do you expect out of these two guys? It's shit or get off the pot time for Jalen already, huh?
First of all, why in the hell is the NFL in Brazil? This is ridiculous. Just don't make any sense. And we on a streaming service, game 2.
Yeah. Do you got Peacock?
You got Peacock, yeah.
I don't know what I got, man. My entertainment bill so high, I'm assuming I do.
If you got Peacock, man, send me your login information after we hop off, man. I ain't got Peacock. I got to watch this game tonight.
I mean, they got a game on Netflix, Peacock, Apple TV. Like
Peacock,
Amazon, Paramount.
Fucking new Fubio or Phobio or whatever.
Fubo, Comedy Central.
Tubi or Juby or Luby, whatever the fuck.
Nickelodeon.
I do have a bet for everybody that's tuning in right now. 2-leg parlay. Saquon Barkley, anytime touchdown. Josh Jacobs, anytime touchdown. Probably those two together.
That's your winnable free pick of the day, y'all. He just said, say it one more time, Shaun, because everybody didn't hear you.
Saquon Barkley, anytime touchdown. Parlay with Josh Jacobs, anytime touchdown.
Free winnable pick right there. Go to winnable.com/slap-picks to get JB and Big Smitty and maybe even Shaun's longer list of picks on there tonight.
As far as evaluating the game, this is what I'm going to sit back and watch because Philly is extremely talented. They traded for Jahan Dotson, so you add him to Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert. They brought in Saquon Barkley, who's excellent on third down, catching the ball. I will see, I guess, the first time they attempt to do the tush push. how much they missed Jason Kelsey. That was what Jason Kelsey was elite at, was tush push.
Yeah.
And it may seem like it's not that big, but to be a play caller and know that anything 2 yards or less, you've got a play that the other team cannot defend. I mean, that's a hell of a comfort zone as a play caller. So
yeah,
let's see what that looks like. Also, Jordan Love, has he taken the next step? I mean, because he's gonna be scary good if he's better than he ended the year playing last year.
Let me ask you this: injuries, real quick. You know, we already know one of their running backs. Is that you? Who's echoing? Is that me? You don't hear that?
Yeah, it's going now. It must have been you.
Who are you?
No, it's back.
Yeah, I hear it bad.
I didn't touch anything on my end, so
I didn't touch nothing either.
I hear it on Shaun's side.
I didn't touch anything.
What's going on with the running back? I know D Jones, but what's the name got hurt? The other back, the big back.
From where?
Packers.
Oh, from Boston College?
Yeah, what's his name?
I can't think his name. Josh Jacobs.
Is that gonna?
Jacobs is an every down back though.
Yeah. So where are you at with the injuries they got? I think Dobbs is out, or is he hurt?
Here's the thing with Green Bay. They're about 6 deep at receiver.
I know, young too.
I mean, Christian Watson, Dante. They got 2 tight ends. I mean, Kraft and Musgrave. They got Christian Watson, Devontae Wicks, Romeo Doubs, Reed, the kid from Michigan State. Like they low key got a real athletic, explosive group of young skill players. So, I mean, if you could buy stock in a team, Green Bay would definitely be a stock you want to purchase, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. It's gonna be interesting. Just give me your do's and don'ts for each team before you get out of here. What you expect today?
I have a lot of the same question marks for Jalen Hurts that I have with Lamar Jackson. So I'm very interested to see under Kellen Moore, has he become more of a rhythmic passer. And here's what I mean, Smitty, when you watch this, everybody in the chat, everybody watching, we appreciate you guys tuning in to us too. Can he get the ball and in rhythm take his drop and deliver the ball with anticipation? That's what I want to see from an NFL quarterback. And if you have extra gifts, like when there's no pass protection, you can evade the pocket, pick up first downs. If you have great functional mobility where you can move around, extend the play, throw the ball down the field, that's all extra and great. That's icing on top of the cake. But I want to see, can you get the ball and in rhythm throw the ball with anticipation within the scheme?
All right, we gonna find out. Big time game. What time the game come on, y'all? It's like
5:20 my time, so like 8:20, I think.
Eastern. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna just not be getting home from work. Okay.
It's on Fubi or Tubi, I'm sure too. One of them fucking.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I do have one announcement. I know I got my South Florida stuff on today, but Tulane is now the official state university of Louisiana.
Who do they play? Kansas State?
Yeah, we got Kansas State coming to Nolens. We did what LSU couldn't do. We beat USC. And so now we got K-State coming to Nolens. We're going to go and handle them Wildcats. Then we're going to Oklahoma next week, and we're going to knock over Boomer Sooner.
What's your true take on Nebraska, Colorado tomorrow? What do you expect? What do you think's going to happen?
Man, McChesney y'all hasn't got now. Is he getting paid by Colorado? Is he afraid Deion not going to take a question from him? Like, golly.
I don't know, dog. You got to keep it real. Got to be real. Like,
so here's what I would say about
Tony White. I think Tony White exposes Colorado tomorrow on offense.
Well, here's my take on Colorado, Nebraska. I don't know. I'm going to find out a lot about both teams tomorrow.
Shaun, I love that.
This wasn't the best iteration of North Dakota State that Colorado beat. If you look at the North Dakota State teams, they normally have 2-3 NFL players on there at the skill spot. They didn't have any. This is a very average North Dakota State team from a talent standpoint. If you look at Nebraska, they struggled with, UTEP a little bit early in that game. And I know they pulled away, but I'm gonna learn a lot about both teams. I mean, the spread says Nebraska's winning this game. I mean, they're over a touchdown favorite. That spread is 7.5. That number's telling you that Nebraska's the better team, but we'll see.
Well, it could be saying that you got some haters out there. I got Colorado winning. Not just covering, they're gonna win the game with the money line. So I'm gonna put probably about $200 down on that.
That'll be a good win for
money.
them. That'll be a good win for Prime and Coach Sanders. I'm not calling him Prime. That'll be a good win for Coach Sanders.
You talking to JB a little too much. It's okay to call him like it's all right to call him Prime. We call him Magic Johnson Magic. You don't call him Irving. You call him Magic.
Magic's a player. Coach Sanders and the Buffaloes, that'll be a good win for them if they can go to, because that place will be rocking.
When Magic was a coach, when Magic was coaching the Lakers, and Kurt Rambis threw the towel at him, he was Coach Johnson. Just throwing that out there. So anyway,
he Coach Sanders to me. I'm not.
Shaun, always appreciate you for hopping in here. It's always a pleasure, my guy.
The inside, Shaun. It's gonna be interesting. Monday we'll have you. We're gonna fuck it. It's gonna be interesting. Next week we're in the studio too, Tuesday through Thursday. Brand new cameras, all these new pretty things, and we're gonna start breaking it down. Monday you're right after Eric Weddle, and or right before Eric Weddle, and we got a loaded show next week as well. So appreciate everybody, and Shaun.
All right, man.
We'll see you Monday.
Have a good weekend, my guy.
Go Blue.
Hey, Shaun, you got to come out here.
For real. Tomorrow we're all going to JB's house. I'm pulling up. Steve's pulling up. You down the street, pull up. You in
Shaun,
Vegas.
you only a couple hours away.
You in Vegas, 3-hour drive. That's nothing. You make no excuse.
Hey, Lil Shaun got a soccer game at 1:30 tomorrow.
He can pull up. Bring Lil Shaun with him.
Hey, catch a PJ straight over here.
I got helicopter, Smitty, I'm there.
Lil Shaun can pull up. Jet Sweet X. Come straight here. You know what I'm talking about. Peace.
Let's bring from one legend to another. We got the best capper in the business. All things football related right now, college and pro. And we also got the Eagles. This guy's wheelhouse. Jeff Nadu, the Sit Down Crime Pod host, legend. Jeff, appreciate you coming in.
Jeff, real quick, Jeff.
We got about 45 minutes with you, Jeff. We're going to kill it. Go ahead.
We'll kill it. Real quick, I'm sorry, Jeff. Not to cut you off. I want to get this clear. I've been knowing you for about a year now, Jeff, I would say. I've never asked you this, so apologies for this. Are we pronouncing your last name the proper way, or are we saying it wrong?
I'm not sure if I ever heard you say it. At least I don't. I mean, I'm sure you do. I don't ever hear it though.
Somebody asked me the other day, is it Nadu or Nadu? And I was like, damn.
The true pronunciation is Nadu.
Nadu. Okay, so we are saying
it right. I think you say that correctly.
Yeah, that's what I say. But somebody asked me that the other day, and I was like, damn, I don't know. Are we saying it wrong? All right.
I'm not one of these people that make a big deal about it, you know.
Me either.
As long as you know who I am, that's all.
It's still respect for your family, though. That's more so that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. You say it correctly. You say it correctly.
All right. Take it over, JB. My fault.
Smitty, say ass, though. Say that word.
Hold on. Say it again.
Say somebody asked you. Say that word. Asked.
Asked. It's hard to say, actually. Asked. I can't even say it now.
That's the BPS biggest word.
Asked. Damn, how you say that? Asked.
But y'all say ax.
Yeah.
A-X.
When we talking fast, we say ax.
AX. AX.
At the end of the day, bro, the English language just has a lot of flaws. As long as y'all know what we're trying to say. 5 Hour Energy right now, y'all. Big time sponsor, man. Listen, if you need some energy throughout the day, if you have a job like us early in the morning, man, it's 8 a.m. You need to argue with somebody for 3 hours long. 5 Hour Energy is the drink for you. Go to 5hourenergy.com right now, get your drink, and tell them that JB, Big Smitty, we sent you there. But let's get straight to it.
Yeah, we don't even have 5 Hour Energy as a sponsor. We just keep doing the ad sponsor just to see if they'll bite.
What you can do.
Hey, Jeff, people love your shirt. You're getting compliments already. Jeff, let's dive right into this. First of all, we got a game in Brazil tonight. We watched the game last night. First of all, give us your thoughts on the game last night. You and I had shared some texts. We kind of shared the same sentiment. It was a hard watch for me. I don't know what it was for you as a bettor. Between the flags, the false starts, the one-sided seemingly calls, where are you at with last night's game as game one of the NFL season started off, and where are you at with betting that?
Well, I want to say first, I didn't bet the game. All right. I didn't have anything on it. I thought it was a very tough game. I would have leaned, Ravens, but it was just the whole world was on the Ravens and they lost. No surprise there. That said, look, it's like a lot of other things in this country. It sucks. I mean, there's a lot of things I don't like about what we have going on. I mean, everything costs more. Football sucks. Also, maybe I'm just as a neutral, I'm just tired of watching the fucking Chiefs. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of hearing that, it's the same fucking song and dance. They get every call. Listen, Jawan Taylor was blatantly offsides virtually every play. And I don't have a problem with them getting calls, but you got to make sure everybody gets the calls. You called 3 or 4 false starts or illegal procedures on Ronnie Stanley, whoever on the offensive line for the Ravens. And then you look at like Mahomes, like he gets hit late out of bounds. You don't call it, and then you call something later that wasn't a late hit. It's just, it's so inconsistent year after year after year. And I don't know when these fucking officials need to hear it. Nobody wants to see you, Shaun Hockley, every other fucking minute on TV.
By the way, I saw an interesting stat. Jeff, the Hockley family collectively, from his father till this son, is the highest rated flag throwers in the history of referees in the NFL. They throw the highest clip of flags. So the family is known, and it started off last night. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a joke.
When then you look at tonight and you expect me to believe that this league can go 10 hours away to a foreign country and get it right to put a football game in Brazil for the first time. This is going to be a shit show. The field's going to be all fucked up or. By the way, have you seen this stadium? It looks like a shithole. Like, have you seen this place?
Yeah, I saw the announcers there already, and it's always some crazy.
And there's trash everywhere. It's like I don't
get it.
Yeah, at least make it look presentable.
Yeah, I don't understand that going over there. I really don't. It just makes no sense to me.
Money.
I think I said this on your show. I would be very. I would love to see how many true Brazilians. So people that have lived there the whole life. I'd love to see how many of those folks go to this game tonight. I'd love to know. I'd love to know the numbers there, because I'm going to guess there's not very many.
In fairness, the Packers got off the plane yesterday after a 10-hour flight from Green Bay. They walked through the tarmac or whatever, and then there was a Brazilian fans there, and they were calling everybody out by name. And then even Sean McVay, or not McVay, fuck's the coach's name?
Young Bull for the Packers. Yeah.
Yeah, I always get his name fucked up. And they called him out. I mean, they called him by name, so obviously they knew. And I don't know if I told you, Jeff, on here or the other day or not, but when Netflix dropped and it came out, my second largest fan support was from Brazil. So I don't know. I don't know if they watched.
I will say Brazil has like a lot of South American countries, there's a large influx of other nations that have come there over the years. There's a big German population in Brazil, so I guess that makes sense. But we'll see.
I'm sure the NFL did market research, y'all. I know we think it's like stupid, but they're a money making machine. NFL looked at the market, they figured out, okay, there is a fan base here. They've never had it before. It's probably gonna be sold out.
And the truth is, Brazil is a beautiful, very large country, right? So I'm hoping. My thought was, I'm just hoping that if the NFL can't get certain things right in this country, how do we expect them to get it right, far away? But we'll see. I think from a game standpoint, and I want to urge everybody out there, a lot of people are going to want to bet this game. And I think the biggest way you can become someone that takes gambling seriously, there's one thing you really have to remember, and it's hard. It's like losing weight or anything you do, stopping smoking. You have to have discipline. Just because a game's on and it's the only game on doesn't mean you have to bet it. And I'm giving you this advice. This game is extremely hard to bet. It already is a toss-up. Now throw in the fact that you're 10 hours away.
Game one.
Are you getting the right food? Are you getting the right rest? It's on a Friday, which we know how NFL players, the clock, they've been playing on a Friday since high school, right? Yeah. Or whatever. So it's just a lot going on here. There's a lot of things that are on the outside. How's your family at home? They're not with you. You can't, there's just so much going on. And I know it's like a road trip, but it's even farther. And from a gambling standpoint, I know for a fact there are many players, because we've heard them talk, they don't want to play this game. Yeah. They don't want to be in Brazil, And so,
Jeff, I want to get the audience. We got over 1,500 people in here on YouTube. We got 4,000 overall. Make sure you go follow Jeff and go watch the Sit Down Crime Pod on TikTok and YouTube. Follow Jeff. Let me ask you something. Sunday, we're going to have a greatest NFL pregame show on earth. you and I and Sean Salisbury, we do a great job, I think, not to toot our own horn. I just think it's real. You're the best capper out there, in my opinion. I think Sean and I break the game down better than most, and we'll have a great show. So we're not going to give away too much NFL stuff today on here because we're going to do it Sunday morning. So you guys join us at 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 11:30 Eastern, Sunday right here on YouTube. But college football-wise, other than tonight's game that you're going to give, college football-wise, it's not a great slate, but it's some key games tomorrow. Texas, Michigan starting right out the gate. Shaun King just said he's taking Michigan to win. He thinks that, and he gave his reasons. I like his reasons. I don't agree with them.
I don't like them.
Where are you at right there? In the big house, a walk-on quarterback for a defending national championship team. So the DNA is there. They lost a shitload on offense, including Blake Corum. They lost a quarterback and did not get one in the portal for some reason. They lost their head coach. They got a coach that's not even under a contract coaching the team, and Sharon Moore. And then Texas going in there with possibly the best wideout core in America. Quinn Ewers, I think, is getting better every game. And even though they lost their star running back, I think their O-line and D-line is just better. Where are you at with this game to start it off? Texas is -7, and the over-under is 42.5. Where are you at with this game to start off?
Well, I don't think you're going to learn it. You didn't learn much about these teams in game one, right? I mean, I think the thought on Michigan is very good defensive team, all right? They're going to stay in this game defensively, and they're going to have to run the football effectively. They can run the football effectively. Keeping the ball away from Texas is another important factor in this game. I worry, though, about Michigan. You're right. You addressed something that they didn't address, the quarterback situation. They try to sell that it's Alex Orji's team, and he's going to lead this team. That ain't going to happen. Is Davis Warren the guy? I don't know. We'll see. They didn't quite, though, fix some of the gleaming issues they had. And Texas is real. But again, I think Michigan's good enough defensively to stay in this game, throw in the fact they're getting a full touchdown, and they're at home in this game. If you're asking me would I make the line, no, I would not make the 7.5. That's unbelievably high. I would have made this more at like 2 or 3, and that's where the original line was. The original line in this game was significantly lower than it is now. I'm not sure after week one what we saw that made me want to bet. Look, Texas beat Colorado State. Who cares? That's a better team, but they're not very good, right? Texas should beat a team like that, like they did. I think Texas will win, but I have a hard time believing they're going to win by more than 7.
So you think it's closer than people
I
think?
do.
Shaun's taking Michigan, so that's interesting. Shaun taking Michigan. You think it's going to be close? So both you guys are the same mindset.
And also one other thing that I had a real problem on betting Texas last year, and I don't know if it'll change this year. As far as touchdown rate, so how many times you go to the red zone, how many touchdowns you scored last year, Texas was bottom 10 in America. They just didn't score touchdowns. It was a lot of the reason, like they lost to K-State last year. They could not convert touchdowns in a red zone. To win football games in college or the NFL, wherever you play, you've got to score touchdowns. Settling for field goals constantly is not the way to do things. And Texas was, I believe they were like 118th out of 133, in that realm in touchdown rate. I can't back teams like that. We'll see if they're better this year. You would think they will be, but this is a really, really good defense they're playing tomorrow.
Hey, Jeff, as a capper, there's guys in the chat, and I got a text from a buddy of mine, Brandon Lang. He's a known bettor. They made movies.
Made a movie about Brandon Lang.
Yeah, One for the Money or whatever it's called. 2 for the Money. Al Pacino. Yeah. He wanted to, he texted me right now and just said, hey, ask Jeff what he thinks about the alternative line, which is at 11.5. Do you think that's a smart bet? Because he's betting it.
Here's what I would do, and he knows this. If this is either going to be Michigan's going to win or Texas is going to win by 20, I just don't know that I see this being, 24. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I would probably go that route, and I think that's what makes Brandon, a legend probably.
What's alternative? What's alternative? Yeah, break that down.
Alternative line would mean that sports books allow you the opportunity to manipulate a line the way you want it. So they'll offer an alternate line up to, so Texas is -7.5. You could play it up to 10.5 where they have to win by 11 or more, and they'll give you like plus 170. So for every 100 you bet, you win $1.70. So it allows you to maximize. If you think it's going to be a blowout, you manipulate it up and you get paid more as far as your point at the end, they'll give you $1.70 instead of $1.10 or minus $1.10.
Huh.
So you get juice back instead of having to lay it. Now you can do it the other way too. So you could take Texas down to 4.5, minus 4.5 instead of 7.5, or 3.5, or 2.5. But you've got to now lay juice. So you'd have to lay like 160. So you got to risk $1.60 to win $1. So it's you manipulate. Or there's another bet you can make, and I don't really recommend these in college, but in the NFL, it's a really good bet. A 2-team 6-point teaser. You take 2 teams. So think about this. Let's say you take 2 teams on Sunday. You get 6 points to adjust the number either way. So you can take a team that's minus or plus 2. You can make them now plus 8. Take another team that's plus 2 and make them plus 8. So now you have a much better opportunity, but both need to win for you to hit. There's all sorts of things you can do.
Let's move around this thing because the slate's not heavy loaded, but there's some key games. I want to dive into a game that's interesting to me. Arkansas at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State minus 9.5.
Ooh.
They expect a shootout, 62.5 over under. Steve Kim likes Arkansas on the road to cover that. Where you at with that game?
Yeah, I had to laugh. I saw a funny tweet from Barstool, Arkansas. They made a point that Ollie Gordon won't be playing in this game because he has chlamydia. I thought that was funny. It was obviously a joke, but I thought that was funny. That said, you mentioned shootout. I think one of the more impressive performances of last week, kind of lower level, was Oklahoma State. I mean, South Dakota State is the best FCS program at this point. And I remember several years ago, South Dakota State went into Iowa, and we know, look, Iowa's offense isn't good, but Iowa couldn't do anything against that South Dakota State defense. Oklahoma State put up 44. The game really wasn't close after halftime. Bowman's a gunslinger. They've got 2 or 3 really good receivers there. Gordon is the best running back in the country. Mike Gundy, yet again, has a very good offensive team. I don't know that I trust them, though, on the defensive end. They don't have a Emmanuel Ugba type of player on that defensive line anymore. And Arkansas, they went out and got their own good transfer quarterback in Taylon Green, who was at Boise. Dynamic, kind of dual threat quarterback. They put up 70 last week, albeit against Pine Bluff. That game kind of screamed, 41-28, 44-31. I leaned over in that one. I think that's a fun back and forth game.
The next one that people are going to maybe talk about, Georgia Tech, Syracuse. Syracuse, people are interested in how good they'll be. New head coach. They got some transfers as well. Georgia Tech -3 after beating Florida State game 1. Again, that was over 11, 12 days ago. Syracuse played fresh off of Saturday. Where you at with that one in the Dome in Syracuse? Georgia Tech -3.
Well, some people like working on cars, JB. Some people like, cooking. What I love to do is on Monday morning, look through box scores and watch highlights of games that I didn't watch. And one of the more pathetic box scores was the fact that the Syracuse Orange gave up, I believe, 230 yards on the ground to Ohio. Doesn't really bode well against Jamal Haynes and Georgia Tech, who Haynes is dynamic, man. I mean, he's looked really good in the first couple of games of the season. Georgia Tech's legit, man. I know we want to kind of clown on the fact that he beat Florida State and Florida State ain't good, but Florida State still gets high-level recruits. They're still a football team that you have to, you shouldn't, foreign soil go in and beat them outright. That was an impressive win. They ran it up last week. Syracuse better get going because that's a good rush attack coming in. I will say as well, I think this is the best quarterback at Syracuse probably since Donovan McNabb. I mean, Kyle McCord's real good, and he's way better than most of the kids they've had there. This is another game. Dome, you don't have to worry about weather. I think first to 30 wins in this one. Something tells me, though, this is kind of a sucker bet to take Georgia Tech. They're going to slip up at some point. My thought is this is kind of a back-and-forth game. Kyle McCord has a big day. One of their receivers has a big day. Something tells me Cuse gets a big win here under Fran Brown, but for me, I think the bet is another over. This seems like a 34-31 type of game, 31-28, something like that.
There's 2 games. We'll rapid fire these 2 right here. Baylor, Utah. Utah looked great. Game 1, played nobody. Baylor as well. Dave Aranda is going to have to shit or get off the pot this year. He knows it. He's coaching for his job. He's a defensive-minded guy. They're going to play a Utah team who's just nutty and gutty, as we know. Jeff, I know you think highly of their head coach as possibly a top 5 guy in the country. Utah's always ready and solid. They got an 8th-year quarterback starting in Cameron Rising. They got a running back named Stanley who had 150 yards receiving last week. Where are you at with this Baylor-Utah game? Minus 14.5 Utah. I don't buy that.
Yeah, I remember you say a lot of things that I think people don't necessarily hear, but they're very important. And you mentioned to me last year that Dave Aranda was on the outs there. The kind of morale of the team was low. I still think it is this year. And I want to make this clear. Last week, they played Tarleton State, a nothing team. I like DeQuan Finn, their transfer quarterback, but he had 3 turnovers in that game. Now you got to go out and you got to play Utah, who, as you alluded to, if I had to choose a coach right now, and I don't give a fuck about Kate, I don't care what you think, I will take Kyle Whittingham over anybody. That's simple. The guy is in that constant for many years. He's just a guy I love. On both sides of the ball, they're extremely dynamic. I'm not sure that Baylor defensively has done much to improve from where they were last year. This is a big barometer game for Baylor. I think they want to think they can compete here, but I still think the quarterback issues are a problem. And you have a quarterback in Finn who went from Toledo to Baylor. Is he ready to handle? I've noticed over the years, MAC quarterbacks, MAC type talent really struggles against, no offense. And you know this, when you played upper echelon Power 5 teams, it was difficult. There's a Dolphin talent. There just is. I'm sorry. Look at the numbers. Look at the stats. FBS teams that are in the Power 5 generally beat up on G5 teams. I'm not saying Finn can't succeed. I think it's going to be difficult, though, and this is a tough way to go. And this is a tough team to play in your first game, really.
I think Finn going to ball out, JB. That's just me personally.
It's going to be tough if he does. Good for him. And Baylor could be back, maybe. But he had 3 turnovers against Tarleton. Is it going to get easier here? I don't think.
I think that's one of the most intriguing week 2 matchups. This one right here, though, it's a in-state rivalry game. Iowa State. Iowa scored their most points in the last 5 years, 40 points. They got rid of Ferentz's son. They go get a guy. The president told the head coach, you need to get rid of your son. That happened. And their defense in Iowa is always solid. It's going to be in Iowa City, in Iowa. Iowa State, I think, is going to be pretty good. Iowa -3, over under 35.5. I think it'll be a defensive struggle this week. I could be wrong, but where are you at with that game?
You know a super underrated group of losers in America? Can I tell you who it is?
Who?
Sons of powerful people. They never succeed. You ever notice that?
Yeah, all of them.
Think of any. There are very few. And I'm talking about through various levels of society.
Ken Griffey Jr.
There are very few. You're going to find your diamond in the rough occasionally. But, like, the sons of people never quite become what we think they should become. Like, again, Twitter will find the random ones, but it's pretty rare. Like, it's often. And look at this situation. Ferentz is a legend. Let's just say it. The son literally was fired. You got to be a real loser to be fired by your own father, right?
Yeah.
Damn. I mean, as someone who, my father was a legend. I never worked for him, but
Yeah.
I mean, look at
the Sanders.
Yeah. Case in point. Look at those two.
What you mean? Look at them.
They'll never become Deion.
They're doing great. Shador is the best quarterback in college football, or at least South 5. Just signed a deal with Nike, about to get drafted. The other son, Shaun, about to get drafted 4th round. What you talking about? Y'all sound crazy right now.
Listen, that said, this game, I think this is the trap game of the week. I think Iowa State wins this game. A lot of people on Iowa. They trust Iowa. But remember, Iowa played a fucking nothing team last week. Now you play your rival who's, not as good as you. But just something tells me this is a close game. I've seen a lot of square suckers on Iowa. I think Iowa State's the play. I think it's a close game, a low-scoring game as usual. Under's probably the play. Boring football. 1st to 17 wins.
Hey, look at Magic's daughter, and Dwayne Wade's daughter, or son. Hey, let's move on.
Look at Michael Jordan's kids. Look at LeBron's kids. It's hard to do that.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. What's wrong? Ain't nobody wrong. What's wrong with Bronny? Hold on. If you guys are saying the expectation is to be as great as your father,
I'm not saying that.
But they're still doing good. They're cool.
It's unfair. I get it. It's not
extremely unfair.
And listen, here's another one. George Bush Jr. was way better than George Bush Sr. There are some that have succeeded, but like it doesn't happen that much.
That doesn't. Let's move on. This game's interesting to me. One of my former kids, Nico, Tennessee, had a good year, good game. He had a good bowl game last year. He transitioned into a first good game this year. They played nobody. They put up 79 points or something. They got an NC State team, which I thought would be better. They struggled last week, but their D-line's always pretty good. Dave Doran, a good head coach. It's in Charlotte, neutral field, Jeff. I don't know if that plays into betting anything, but Tennessee minus 10 seems a little bit daunting to me. 60.5 over under on a neutral stadium. Tennessee, NC State, intriguing matchup. Who you got?
Listen, the number has gotten out of control in this game. It went from 7 all the way up to 10. The whole world's on Tennessee, and for good reason. They looked very good last week, but they played a nobody team. They're going to move the ball, but JB, has Tennessee's defense improved? I'm not sure it has. Grayson McCall didn't play well, but it was one game. He's a better quarterback than what they've had there recently. 10.5 is too high. I would lean NC State at that number. I think there's a lot of points in this game too. Any game Tennessee's in, it kind of. And by the way, Western Carolina is a top 15 FCS team. So the fact that we want to talk about Oregon, talk about NC State. They played Idaho and Western Carolina are two good FCS teams. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, you don't have to talk about these two in depth, but I just want to ask you: are there any possibility in the world that either A, they don't cover, or B, there's an absolute outright upset? App State, which you and I always know play tough, and Clemson, who's struggling at quarterback, it seems like, and offense. Clemson minus 16.5. I think that's a game to watch. And then Boise, Oregon. Boise had a running back that has 6 touchdowns. Oregon comes off what people think a disappointing win. They're favored by 21.5. I think Oregon gets back on the right track this week and blows Boise out personally. They have to for us to think Oregon's really a contender. But Clemson, I think, can be in a dogfight. Where are you at with those two games?
Yeah, Oregon's not going to lose. Boise State was a complete disaster on defense last week. Georgia Southern did whatever they wanted against them, dropped 45 on them. And the only reason Boise won is because Genty had a unbelievable day. He's a great running back. He's probably the second best running back in the country outside of Gordon. You keep in mind in that game, one thing that we don't talk about, he had 6 touchdowns, obviously, but he had 13 yards a carry. 13.
First down, every time he touched it.
Yeah, and they didn't play an FCS team. Like that's impressive. As far as the other game, I agree. App State's the best team in the Sun Belt. Shaun Clark always has a really good team. They've got a good quarterback and Joey Aguilar, a good defense. And listen, I don't know how many times we have to hear it. Are we going to ever get to the point where we kind of just say, maybe Dabo at this point is just an average coach? He does not want to understand. You got to get with the new program. Like I know, I don't know. It's almost like it's almost like people that don't want to accept technology. It's like, it's 2024. Like, fucking accept it. It's not 1997 anymore. Dabo Swinney doesn't understand. You need to go out and address the portal, right? And he just won't do it. And that's why he's losing games that he shouldn't lose. They were dominated last week by a really good team. I don't know if they can just turn a switch. That offense isn't good enough to just turn a switch and flip it around. And again, App State is a top 5 G5 team. 17's a lot. I think they hang in that game.
All right, let's talk about the game. Everybody, go ahead, Smitty.
One more big time game. I know we're not going to talk about this too much, but Missouri State, Ball State, probably one of the biggest games of the weekend. I guess, what are your thoughts on that? Is Ball State going to cover? Is Ball State going to win? All this straight up. What are we thinking there?
I got Missouri State. I got Missouri State in a fucking blowout. I'm just gonna be honest. Bobby P left. Bobby P left them a good position. They went undefeated his last year. He takes over at Arkansas. By the way, that's a big factor, Jeff. That now we got a legitimate guy on offense running the show there in Arkansas this week. You saw what they did last week offensively. Total night and day from last year with Sam Pittman as the head coach and an O-line guy by nature. Now he got his guy. He got one of the best play callers, and he coached Lamar Jackson and all these guys. He's a legitimate play caller. I think that goes back to that Oklahoma State game that you have to put into consideration. But again, he left Missouri State in great hands, in my opinion.
And also keep in mind, with 4:43 to go last week, Missouri State was beating Montana, who was a top 3 FCS team. They ended up losing the game late, but very good game for them. They played well. Their quarterback, Jacob Clark, I think can move the ball against Ball State. Not a good football team. I got to know the number in that one. But I'll be honest. This game wasn't really on my radar, but I got to look up the number. I don't know if we have it just yet for this game, but if I'm getting double digits in this game, I might lean on Missouri State here. Not a bad football team.
No, they're not. They're not. They really aren't. But
I know who I'm rocking with.
Game of the week that everyone wants to talk about. I think personally, this Nebraska-Colorado game is going to be a Tony White on defense for Nebraska chess match with Shedeur Sanders. They're going to have to make Colorado run the football, in my opinion. Even if they don't gain a yard, Colorado better run the football, or I think Tony White exposes them on offense. Where are you at with this game? Where are you at with it's in a sea of red. They sell out every game. Nebraska's not an easy place to play. Where are you at with this game in all shapes, sizes, and colors?
Well, look, I think for me, Colorado, anytime you talk about them, they're always going to get you either love them or you hate them, right? There's really no middle with Colorado. Now, for me, I've always, and I know people won't want to believe this, but I'm always in the middle. I tell you what the truth is. Like last year, they didn't have a good offensive line or a good defense. That was just the truth. I don't know if they do this year either. I think they're better, but defensively, I don't think they are. In fact, I don't believe they are. But let's talk about Nebraska for a second, because how many times over the years have we heard what a huge game this is in Lincoln, and then they piss down their leg? Now, I know a lot of those games were with Scott Frost at the helm, but this is a bigger game to me for Nebraska than anything, because we've heard Don Mariola's the next great quarterback at Nebraska. He's the next, whoever. They're a 7-point favorite. They need to win this game, right? Because Nebraska has very much embarrassed themselves as well. And I'll tell you another thing. I don't know what we saw from Nebraska late in the season last year that makes us want to bet them. I mean, you look at over the last 2 months of the season. They lost to Michigan State, Maryland, Wisconsin, and Iowa. And by the way, in that Iowa game, they lost 13-10. And remember, Deacon Hill was the quarterback, a third-string quarterback for Iowa, and they still lost. They then last week beat UTEP. Who cares? I like Raiola. I think he is a really good quarterback and he'll do well there. But I need to see them do something before I get involved as well. Colorado, we know the pressure on them. I think it's too much a lot of the time. I think if you like Colorado, why not just take the over? I think both these teams move the ball.
What we got, baby?
What, did you sandbag me?
Okay, so breaking news, fellas. This is from earlier. But let's go ahead and discuss this here. So Jalen Ramsey just got signed and extended here. Let me pull this off. Jalen Ramsey and the Dolphins have reached an agreement on a 3-year extension worth $24.1 million a year, making him the highest paid cornerback in the NFL ever.
For the second time in his career, by the way.
But wasn't Patrick Surtain just the highest paid yesterday?
He was.
It's crazy. So now we have the wideout market competing. Now we got the cornerback market competing. Jeff, I don't know how this salary cap's going to work in Miami with an aging corner to pay him that much money who's been out for the last few years, injury prone. Where are you at with that take, right quick, before we get back to the
this is again one of the real head scratchers of NFL football. I mean, this was a bottom 10 defense in the league last year. This is a group that gave up. I think they were they were an average pass defense. They just were. I mean, I get, you got to pay a lot of these guys. You got to do what you got to do. As you mentioned, though, the payroll's high there. You got a lot of older guys there. They weren't a very good defense. Again, Vic Fangio's gone. I don't know what they'll be this year. I never know how to react to this. It's like, well, cool. Good for him. Like I saw the other day, Stephen Curry signed a 1-year, $60 million contract.
2.5, I think. Yeah.
Why not sign like a 3-year like a 1-year contract? Weird.
I think it's a 1-year extension. I think it's to keep him in through like 2025, 2026 season, something like that. So shout out to Jalen Ramsey, man. Jalen Ramsey been one of the best quarters in the league for a long time. David Mulligetta, like I said, I met him once, like through Zoom, but say we want about him. This guy gets his players paid. That's just a
But
fact.
let's call a spade a spade. He's not the best corner in the league. He's not probably a top 4 corner in the league, right?
Not anymore.
Yeah,
we got
4 years ago.
Gardner. We got my man who's got paid yesterday. We got I'm trying to think off the top of the head. What's my man for the
Let me ask you. Let me ask you. You got to pick one corner for the next year. Slay or Ramsey?
They're both kind of older. I would go Ramsey because he's a little bigger. He'll come down and hit you.
That's why I'm relating them.
Yeah, I would go Ramsey. Ramsey's a little bit more physical. Will come down and hit you. Can help in the run a little bit. It needed. So I would give Ramsey the edge. But I like Slay though, so it's not like a diss towards Slay.
Yeah. Go back to Nebraska, Jeffrey. So who are you taking in this Colorado-Nebraska game, and why?
And by the way, I'm very happy to see that at least the NFL, before I get to Nebraska, we finally decide that we are not going to sign a scumbag to our roster. And Xavier Howard continues to sit like the scumbag he is. What a low life. He should never play in the NFL again. In fact, he should be in prison for some of the behavior that he committed. By the way, as well, let's understand this, guys. Last night, an individual who caused a crash that resulted in multiple injuries due to his high rate of speed in a Lamborghini, he then left the scene of an accident and is criminally charged and will face prosecution for it, played last night. Think about this.
And expected to play every game.
But Calvin Ridley gambled and didn't play the whole season in 2022. I guess all I could say is, got it. Does that even make any sense? Like,
I've been saying it forever. I've been saying
only, and you know me, so I agree with you. But the only, I guess, difference is that, and it's stupid, but one guy's offense was directly like correlated to like the shield, the NFL itself, where the other one was more of a.
But Smitty, they make money on gambling. They promote it. They have it all over their stadiums. Yet when people do it, it's, oh my God, he gambled on football.
DraftKings are biggest sponsor. DraftKings are biggest sponsor.
It's insane. But let's go back to this game. Who I think wins, I can't pick a winner here just because so many teams are unproven in this game. I don't like Nebraska. I think they should win. And if they don't win, I don't want to hear about Nebraska anymore. I don't want to hear about Lincoln's such a tough place to play. Like, I don't want to hear about that anymore. They should win this game. Something tells me it's close. Colorado's offense is better. They just are, right? And look, Travis Hunter, great receiver. Shadur, great quarterback. No one will take that away. I think both offenses move the ball. I really do. I think we see a fun back and forth game. But again, Nebraska, this is your last opportunity. If you can't win this game, if you ask me what I'm betting, I'd take Colorado at plus 7.5.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. And take the
I think
over.
they win, though.
Yeah, I'm taking Nebraska to
win
win the game. I'm taking Nebraska to win the game, though.
I think this is like 31-28, something like that.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting start to the college season. I know that. NFL-wise, tonight, you're taking who? Because we'll stay away from that game on Sunday. We'll break it down Sunday, but
yeah.
tonight,
Well, we talked about kind of the particulars of the travel and all that. The truth is, on defense, the Philadelphia Eagles will not have Devin White, who's out, middle linebacker, not good because that's already a poor linebacker group. Isaiah Rodgers, starting corner, he's out. He had played really well in camp, coming off a betting suspension. So guess who the starting corner is going to be? Quinyon Mitchell.
Oh, that's good. From Toledo. Maction. Yeah. Hashtag Maction, Jeff.
Yeah, very good. Great cornerback. He was going to play the nickel. So you also look at on offense. I like Green Bay, but they've got some real issues at the guard position. That could be real problematic against Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. I think deep down, though, brass tacks, if you're going to give me a one-on-one A.J. Brown, Jair Alexander, I'm going to take A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown in single coverage is a monster. I think both these offenses move the ball. I really do. I think both coaches are just hoping to get out of there with a win. It's essentially a toss-up game. I'll lean on the Eagles. I think they win, but the Packers are really good, and Jordan Love played really well towards the end of the season. And I don't quite know that I trust this Eagle defense just yet. I don't know if an edge rusher has made himself aware on this team. Because remember, Brandon Graham's old, right? They lose Hassan Reddick. Fletcher Cox retired. Your pass rushers are Bryce kid from the Jets. What's his name? Bryce. I forget his last name. Josh Sweat. I mean, there's not a lot of great pass rushers there.
Bryce Huff.
Huff, right. There you go.
Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and they got Milton Williams.
And Carter will be double teamed, so it's I don't know. Their secondary is good, but now you have Quinyon Mitchell, who's going to be thrown right in Brazil first game, so a lot of question marks here. I would avoid the game. I think the Eagles will find a way, but this is the Packers. This isn't the Jazz. This isn't the Panthers or some bad football team. This is a good team as well. And yes, Isaiah plays. It's not hard to understand. They are problematic at guard. They don't even know who their fucking guard is, Isaiah. Do you even know your own fucking football team?
I think the wideout core collectively is the best in football. They're young. They got 6 deep with the Pack. I'm talking Packers now. Are they big name guys like AJ Brown and Smith? Are they top heavy big name? No. But they got 6 guys that I think are as good as anybody as far as a young core of guys with Jordan Love slinging them the ball. Now you add the running back from Vegas. I think
Jacobs
out the backfield. I think they're pretty good.
Let me also pose a question to Eagle fans and people that like the Eagles. We're just kind of assuming, and I know you guys know this, we're just kind of assuming that Cameron Jurgens is going to be Jason Kelce, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think people realize how important Jason Kelce was. It's a Hall of Famer.
Both guys.
He's arguably be the best center of all time. He's in the conversation. Look at how good he was with pooling, going out and run blocking, just the overall connection that he had with Hurts or whoever the quarterback is. Cam Jurgens has never played the position at the NFL level, right? We're just assuming that will fix itself, right? And, look, another point to make on the Eagles' offensive line. They felt like the next guard for the future they had in Tyler Steen. Tyler Steen was benched, and Mekhi Becton, who was picked off the street, is now your guard. And he's not a guard. Mekhi Becton's a tackle, coach. You know that. Now he's going to be thrown into the guard position. There's more questions on this offensive line, and it's still very good. But we have our own – the Eagles have their own questions at guard and center.
Yeah.
Man.
Smitty, let's end the show with some hell yeah, hell nah. And Smitty, you got it because you do the best thing. Hell yeah, hell nah. You're always wrong with it, and I'm always right. So let's go.
Hell yeah, hell no. Nebraska quarterback Dylan Raiola will throw for more passing yards than Colorado QB Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
I'll go hell yeah. I don't think if you watch football, I don't know how you could say anything different. I mean, again, the most fervent, obsessive Colorado fans have to understand this is not a good defensive team. They just aren't. Maybe they'll get better, and maybe they just had a bad game, but history tells us that they are a bad defensive team. So, and I like Nebraska's defense, so I'll have a belief that they can.
Yeah, that's interesting. Shedeur, I would say, is a better spinner of the football, purely as far as a pocket guy. But Raiola, in my opinion, will benefit from the defense getting him more touches, more opportunities. So I'm going to say hell yeah, I think he will because Nebraska's an air it out now type of team too. So it's going to be an interesting shootout. I'm going to go with you hell yeah.
I'm saying hell no. Shedeur will throw over 400 yards again. I think Dylan Raiola will throw for like 350 though. So it will be a big time shootout there. Hell yeah, hell no. Tonight's Eagles versus Packers game in Brazil will be a shootout and go over 50 total points. Hell yeah or hell no? Jeff Nadu.
I would say hell yeah, probably. I don't until the Eagles defense shows me that what we saw last year was just a couple of bad games. They have a lot of question marks. Pass rush isn't quite there. The secondary should be good, but it might not be as well. So yeah, I'm going to lean 27-24. I'll just say it goes over.
Vegas got it right last night, right on the dot at 47. Vegas seems to always know. I'm going to go over tonight. I'm going to go over. I believe this could be a 35-30 game. I'm going to go over. Hell yeah.
I'm going to go under. Hell yeah or hell no? Caleb Williams will win in his first start for the Bears against the Titans at home. Hell yeah or hell no?
Well, we all know I'm a big fan of his. I'll say hell yeah. And I want to shout out. I don't watch this show, and I've really never seen it, quite frankly. That Hard Knock show, I really like. That's a good show. And I just want to point out, they made me think. I was watching episode 1 the other day, and I thought to myself, wow, they're not wrong. Could Caleb Williams be the best quarterback ever there in Chicago, and he's never played? Like, who the fuck have they had over the years?
That don't even make sense. Hold on. Even you saying that, if you listen to what you said, it don't even make sense. Like, there's no way, literally, to say anybody's the best without them playing.
Smitty, you can find every team in the NFL currently. You can find in their history, even like bad teams. You can find like Detroit Lions up at the recent. They've had at least 1 or 2 good quarterbacks over the years. I don't, other than like Jim McMahon, which is like a long fucking time ago, I can't name one. Rex Grossman, fucking Kyle Wharton, Jay Cutler, dog shit.
Jay Cutler wasn't that bad, bro. Jay Cutler's pretty damn good.
Cutler's the most
star, dude.
Cutler was the most talented, though. Ball spinner, I would say. But
if that's what we're talking about here, your best quarterback was Jay Cutler. Listen, Caleb Williams, I'm telling you, this guy.
Yeah,
I love him.
I'm not sold. Here's the thing: I don't believe a rookie quarterback's ever won week 1. So I'm going to have to go against it and roll with Will Levis on this one and the Titans getting it done week 1. I do like the additions of the Bears offense, as far as wideout. They improved a little bit at O-line. They got Swift over there. I think it'll be dynamic to go along with Caleb. But it's Caleb week 1. I'm curious to see how good that team is overall. I don't believe the Titans are that good either. I know Bailey likes the Titans.
I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing, and this is a concern with the Bears. A lot of new shiny toys that they have there as far as weapons, but is their offensive line good enough? Because the Titans have a pretty good defensive line, with Jeffrey Simmons and Sweat. That's a pretty good defensive line, so they better make sure they're ready to go.
It's going to be interesting.
I'm going to say hell yeah. I think the Bears win in a very close, low-scoring matchup, 19-17, kind of one of those weird scores, grimy, physical type of game. And Caleb Williams will get his first win because he's just a better quarterback than the guy they got over there in Tennessee. 2 more here, man. Hell yeah or hell no. Sam Darnold versus Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones will throw for more yards than Sam Darnold, and the Giants will win against the Vikings on Sunday. Hell yeah or hell no.
Well, JB probably thinks Daniel Jones is going to throw more than any other quarterback this week.
But Jeff, I got both of these guys. I got Sam Darnold as my comeback player this year, and me and Daniel Jones tight as 5 virgins in a Volkswagen. So I'm going to roll with Daniel Jones as the more seasoned starter because he's got more starts under his belt. Sam Darnold is going to fill his way out there with Justin Jefferson, get him the ball.
That game on Red Zone that like they don't show for like hours on end. That's this game. I couldn't give a fuck about this game, to be fair. I'd rather watch I don't even know. But hey, by the way, did you guys know I was watching Utah last week? You know who their backup quarterback is, coach?
At University of Utah?
Yeah, like the backup to Cam Rising. It's the Mormon MILF hunter's brother.
Oh, and yeah.
And I'm not like when he came in, I knew we're not scoring again.
He's the mile high MILF hunter now. Jeff, correction. He's the mile high MILF hunter now. So
it's funny because they look like a typical Mormon would look like blonde hair.
Their mom and I have had talk. We've talked before.
Yeah. Last one. I don't know what that means. Last one. Hell yeah or hell no. Anthony Richardson's Colts will beat CJ Stroud's Texans Sunday. Hell yeah, hell no.
Fuck no.
I say hell yeah. I actually picked the Colts. And this is the sucker bet of the week. A lot of people like Houston. Lumber's only 2.5, went down to 2 at some spots. That's a strong indication that the Colts will win. I think they will win. And what are we going to say? Wow, the Texans lost. They got to bounce back, and it'll be of an overreaction in week 1. That's what we'll see. And Houston will be fine. They'll go to the playoffs and do well. But yes, I think they're going to lose this game.
I'm saying hell yeah. Anthony Richardson is for the second time back-to-back is the youngest starting quarterback in week 1. Jonathan Taylor is healthy. Michael Pittman Jr. is looking good. The O-line's top 10 in the game. Defense top 10 in the game. Zaire Franklin, best middle linebacker in the game with EJ Speed. We got Kenny Moore at corner. Juju Prince on the other side. Listen, this coach team is serious. We got DeForest Buckner. We got Grove Stewart. Ballers everywhere from top to bottom. And you will see a great game from my Indianapolis Colts on Sunday. It's in Naptown, downtown, tailgate. My homies are tailgating. If y'all want to tailgate with them, hit them up. Shout out to D-Bond, shout out to Charles. We turning it up all season long, starting with this Sunday. CJ Stroud, you're my guy, but you're taking the L.
Can I leave you with something that I just want to say to all the men out there?
Yeah. End it with this. You can end it. Let me before you end it, let me say, if you watched Lamar Jackson last night and how fucking awful he looked, you're about to see that 10 times worse than AR5. You're gonna see.
I hope AR5 is Lamar Jackson. That'll make me so happy.
He's gonna look 10 times worse than Lamar. And I don't know. Be honest, we should do a hell yeah, hell no. Does AR5 finish the fucking game? I would probably say hell no.
We played the Texans last year, and we beat the Texans last year with AR5 before he got hurt.
Hell no. Does he finish
Texans
the game?
struggle with AR5, contrary to belief. The Texans struggle with AR5, contrary to belief. Watch the tape, homie. But Jeff Nadu close us out.
There was no tape.
Close us out, Jeff.
Well, I will say I think Colts fans will be just fine with Lamar Jackson if that's what AR5 is.
Thank you.
Kind of a change in topics. That said, if you are dating a porn star, OnlyFans model, you are a bum, you're a loser, it's not a flex, your girl gets piped by other people and men watch her on the internet all day, it's not a flex. Stop acting like it is. Have respect for yourself. She's getting fucked by other men. It's not a flex.
I saw you brought up something. A fan of Jalen Hurts and the Eagles said that his girl said she would fuck Jalen Hurts, and then you called him a cuck on Twitter. I just saw. Break that down real quick.
Yeah, he was a colleague of mine when I was at Barstool. He basically said he has props on Jalen Hurts tonight. So as long as Jalen Hurts props win, he would film his girlfriend fucking Jalen Hurts and he'd be okay with it. So I said he was a cuck. I mean, if you allow that, you're like, sorry. If you did an OnlyFans model and you other men watch you get fucked, or she gets fucked and you call it a flex, you're a fucking loser. You're a
isn't that like Kevin 28 or whatever?
Yeah, Adam 22. Yeah. Yeah, he was a cuck too.
What?
We have to go back to the days where we started dating women that have comparable careers. Porn stars are fucking hoes, and they're the dredge and garbage of society. It's just that simple. Damn. Sorry.
Shout out to my homegirl, Rochelle Ryan. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sarah J. Both been on the Porch Podcast, gave me great interviews, great insight about what they do, their stories, how they end up in that position, things like that. Hey, man.
Smitty, Chris, it's Free Game Friday, Chris. We got to get a little Free Game Friday in there.
Smitty.
Yeah.
Let me ask you. Yeah. Have you ever seen those old videos
I've seen them.
No, like the ones from like 1912 where like people are walking around and everybody's dressed well. And do you notice the key difference between that and what we see on television and films today?
It was all white people. There was no black people around.
No.
It was all black people.
It's that we have allowed sex to be so pervasive in our society that it dominates everything we do. Notice the most beautiful countries in the world, you never see that.
Really?
Go to Russia. You won't see that. Go to countries that are actually really advanced and are crushing this country. They don't have that crap. We have allowed sex to pervasively invade our society. I don't want to see it anymore, and I'm tired of it. If you are a porn star, you are a fucking bum.
When I go to Twitter, that's all I see is just sex.
That's a shame, isn't it?
Sex.
Yep. And we wonder why our kids become what they become.
Look at Instagram. All these girls on there. I mean, you got to film yourself squatting in the gym, and
I like that. I mean, because that's gym motivation.
And then these are the same girls that complain when guys look at them for too long in the gym. Shut the fuck up, ho.
I'm gonna start walking around my nuts hanging. I'm just telling you.
I can tell y'all too. Neither one of y'all don't get no women for real in the real world.
You know what's funny? When I go to the club, I don't sit there with a bunch of dudes. I have a girl with me every time. That's the difference between me and you, and I don't need to tell anybody that. That's the difference between you and me, folks. I don't have to pretend.
Yeah, I don't.
They just come up to
kiss
me.
and tell.
Like,
I've never kissed and told. I've never kissed and told.
You literally came on the show and said you talk about AE for 2 years.
Yeah,
right. But I don't kiss and
You
tell.
don't kiss until you get 8
Yeah,
until.
because I got too many. I got too many AEs. So once you start talking about all the AEs, then they all start to find out and try to find out who they are. And
You
all
my
that.
guy, so I ain't gonna put. So you got it. You got it.
Smitty. Hey Jeff. So listen, real quick. So I was at Pat Perez's golf tournament last week, and I was talking to Jeff. You got as long as I say. We were talking to Jeff, and I bid on a horse race at the Del Mar horse track in San Diego, big time known track, and I won. I paid $1,200. I gave back to the cause. It was for the wounded veterans that Pat Perez's dad runs every year. A lot of celebrities there. I won. So I got 12 tickets to the Del Mar. Smitty can't go, but Jeff, we're going to fly Jeff. Get out.
I will
Jeff,
be there for that.
We're going to go to the Del Mar racetrack and go to the horse race. We got a press box, suite, food, drinks, everything's taken care of. It was in the auction. I won it. And I told Jeff first, I asked Jeff, I said, Jeff, is this worth me buying it? And I had nowhere near the money that room had. And I think they felt bad for me. And they were like, let JB get it. And I won. And Jeff's going to be out there, Smitty. We'll film from there. You can't come, but we'll film there.
I don't want to be there. Sound racist. Yeah. Ain't my type of environment.
Yeah, horse races, I don't see a lot of brothers being there.
Mess around to slap shit out of somebody. So I don't want to be there. I don't want to be in that position.
I will be there. I will come out for that.
Knock the motherfucker out in there. So I don't want to be out there.
A horse will kick you straight in your chest. And
I wouldn't fight a horse, but I'll fight the people who own the horse.
The little jockeys?
Nah, rob y'all too.
No,
like the little jockey? You mean the little Kyler Murrays?
JB, what time can I come over tomorrow? Pause.
What?
What time can I come over tomorrow?
9. That's when we start.
I'm gonna be over there for about 10. Jeff, pull up. Jeff, you ain't doing shit this weekend, man. Tell that girl you'll see her next week.
Buddy,
book a flight real quick. You got the money. You got hella money, Jeff. I saw you. I got this app where I can look up people's personal information. So I ain't gonna put it out there, but Jeff is loaded. Jeff is loaded. So go ahead, book your flight with South. Go Southwest. Go cheap. Make sure you check in 24 hours before. Pull up. We're going me, you, Steve, Kim. Turn up.
But I'm coming out there for the Del Mar thing. So am I really gonna? You realize how far I am? I'm like a 6-hour flight. It's not like a 2-hour thing.
It's probably 5-hour flight. It's 5-hour flight from where you at. You good?
No, it's not.
Hey, been a great week.
I'll be there soon, though.
We had over 1,600 people live in here today. Shout out to all you guys. Smitty, all you weekend.
What are you making tomorrow, by the way?
I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna cook tomorrow. I'm gonna go shopping right now. I'm gonna smoke some beef back ribs.
Oh shit!
A lot of people don't know about those. I'm gonna do a bunch of different pork back ribs as well. I'm gonna do some my famous
wings,
onion garlic red onion burgers.
Nice.
And I'm gonna do some wings for Smitty, black people shit. And then I'm gonna do
some onion rings for Steve Kim.
I'm gonna do some watermelon for Smitty. And I'm gonna do onion rings for onion rings for Steve Kim.
Some fried rice.
Damn, he said
no.
I mean, this is the racist show that I've ever been a part of, man.
What you make for Weddle?
Weddle's coming through. He wants
he seems like a kind of guy that would like you roast a pig for or something. Like he'll eat like the insides of it.
Weddle just wants a bagel.
He probably gonna make Weddle just like some mac and cheese, but like with no cheese, just mac and cheese.
No season.
Just some mac. Like
Weddle played in the league, dog, with all brothers. Come on, Weddle wants some chicken.
But he representing the white community, so we gotta keep it consistent. We gonna be racist. We're gonna be racist to everybody.
You ever make any you ever make pasta or anything?
I make it all. I do it all. I got a new kitchen.
Barbecue baked beans are his best shits, though.
Hey Jeff, I got a new kitchen, and tomorrow will be my first day on it. A 48-inch stove top now. I mean, I'm gonna cook tomorrow like no other.
Start tonight, because when I come up, I want to eat when I get there.
We're not eating at 9 in the morning, homie. You bring some breakfast burritos.
You having a party, having an event, ain't gonna have no food. Like, what the fuck? What you gonna do? Burritos, eggs, toast. We need something in the morning to hold us over.
Whenever I come out there, though, I choose the menu. Is that fair?
Yeah, I cook.
Yeah, it's cool. We'll cook for
some
you.
sausage and peppers, some pasta, the meatballs, something like that.
Yeah, I make it all.
See, Jeff wants some fucking meatballs, fucking.
You never had a
all that
sandwich.
type
You
shit.
put a sausage on the grill.
You see
throw some peppers
sausage,
and onion.
Oh yeah, I do it all the time.
His barbecue baked beans are his best shit though, so you gotta get the barbecue baked beans. You put meat in there.
I might do a brisket tomorrow. I don't know.
No, I don't got to take for brisket. Just do ribs, chicken wings, and burgers. Boom. So ribs, chicken wings, burgers.
Why the fuck are you complaining? It's free.
Your sides though, barbecue baked beans. What else are you good at on the side? Your sides is kind of, let me see, barbecue baked beans.
By the way, Sunday, what time, Coach, for the show?
8:30, 11:30. You
okay? 11:30.
Because on the West Coast, it starts at 10, the first games are 10 a.m. So we'll go 8:30 to 10, 9:30, whatever, and then we'll do an hour and a half. And then in the Central Time where Shaun is, the games start at 12. So we'll get done, 20 minutes early, so people can make their picks or do whatever they want to do. So we'll do it like that.
Yeah, and guess I'm demanding things because I got to drive 2 hours to get to him, and I got to drive 2 hours back. That's 4 hours.
Yeah, it's not 2 hours. Stop exaggerating.
Also, by the way,
hey, Ruben to be here. Ruben to be here tomorrow.
Shout out to Ruben. Now that's my homie.
We'll beat
By
that
the
ass
way,
on poker. We'll beat that ass.
2 months from now, we will have a new president. Think about that.
I know.
Yeah, we don't talk about that on this show no more. We talk about that on the Sunday show. But yeah, make sure all the homies pull up. It's gonna be crazy. We're gonna have chips and dip, wings, food, and we're gonna also
Hey, Jeff,
do
did you
some
see
behind
those?
the scenes content.
Venezuela Hamases?
We're gonna do some behind the scenes content too. That's gonna only go on winnable.com/slappick. So tomorrow, make sure if you're not on Winnable, better sign up now because all the behind the scenes content tomorrow, I'm talking about video content, is gonna be on our Winnable channel. So if you want to see me beating the hell out of JB and everything, you want to see the food, all that's gonna be on winnable.com/picks. So make sure y'all tune in. Jeff, we appreciate you, man. If you need something, let us know. We'll see you Sunday, Jeff.
Sounds good.
All right, man. Chat, man. Thank y'all. Hit that like button, subscribe. Bailey, thank you for everything behind the scenes. And JB, any closing remarks to end the show? We got 1,000 people in here. Everybody's listening. It's the last remark of the show before we close out. What's on your mind? Say it right now. Make it powerful. Make it strong. Go.
Trump 24. See you guys Monday.
Issues get pressed so fast you don't get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown kill the ass around.